Hello. Oh, right, I need to switch scene first. Sorry. Yeah, hello. I haven't sorted out the audio thing yet. Alright, okay. Let's resume from where I was. Timer stuck bug. Why does this happen? Live split on a run false. Why does it show? Man. I need to yeah, I'll have to investigate this properly. It doesn't seem to work on startup for some reason. Maybe because it's async? Maybe it needs to not be... Oh, no, wait, it needs to be async. There's a wait. Yeah. That's annoying. Maybe I could remove this wait and I could do within the last half a second. And then we can do it like this. And then instead of waiting, it has half a second for it to not be these things before it does the other thing. That'd probably work. Let me start the timer. Yeah, starting the timer comes up immediately. Ending the timer. That was longer than half a second. What the fuck? Okay, finally. What? How did that take so long? What the shit? Oh, because this takes 2 seconds. Right, this takes 2 seconds, and then that takes... Why do I even have this half a second thing, then, if I already have... If I already have a thing that delays it for 2 seconds. This is longer than 2 seconds. This is much longer than 2 seconds. This is so much longer than 2 seconds. How the fuck? What is happening here? Very strange. Yeah, there it goes, finally. Very strange. Okay. Hello, everybody who's asking about no gameplay today. Have you read the title? I don't think you've read the title. Go ahead and read the title. Right, let me find where I was previously. A little bit just to see where I got to. It plays the credits. God, that's loud, sorry. It's loud for me anyway. So we skip to the final mission and we play the fucking credits. And the mission is still happening in the background because the mission is still happening. Oh yeah, my throat was giving up yesterday. Seconds, why not 5 or 1? It's because we can't just write whatever numbers we want that easily, right? Because you got to remember, the number that we write in the wait instruction, also influences the other numbers that we can write in the other places. So we want it to be relatively low. We don't want it to be like nothing, because when I do the glitch, I start just business. Like, just business has started. If it tried to start end of the line free right now, we do the thing with the books. We have the just business book, and then we replace it with the end of the line book, and then the game will crash. So I need to have enough time to be able to fail just business. Yeah, okay. That's why I death warp here. That's why I get out and throw a grenade. It blows up the car, and it kills me. And both of those things fail the mission. So I need to have enough time in order to end the mission before the game crashes. So we wait, we wait like 15 seconds. That's what we're programming in. If you're just joining the stream, I'm just watching what I said yesterday, so I remember where the fuck I was, and then I can continue this. I'm hopeful I can get this finished today, but we'll see. This is MPV video player. We're telling the game. Don't do that. Wait 15 and a bit seconds. Start the final mission. And then start the fucking credits. And then end the script, because we don't need to do anything at that point. We need to end. Yeah, this stream is going to be very awkward for you guys on live stream. If you didn't watch like all of yesterday's stream, nothing I say today is going to make sense, because I'm recording a YouTube video, right? I'm just doing it live. because otherwise I wouldn't be streaming anything. So this is going to be, if you haven't watched all of yesterday's stream, you might be better to just go back and watch yesterday's stream. Otherwise we just blast through and read other stuff. So that's what we program in here. That's the payload. So that's the payload I set. I leave the thing, and I go outside, and I death warp. Cop asshole. Cop asshole. So the payload has been programmed in. I've opened the book. I've gone to the page about the Wheel of Fortune bets, and I've written in all those numbers. Oh no, I lost my page. Oh no, my bookmark. All right, I lost my bookmarker. Oh. I've lost my bookmark. Oh. Oh, okay, I think it was around there. Fuck. Disaster. We go to the page. That's the Wheel of Fortune's bets. We write in those numbers as our bets, and then we close the book, and we put the book to one side. Now, Josh, you've bet a bunch of numbers. That's cool. What? Alex for Bronx? Jesus fucking Christ. I went on your channel yesterday and Twitch said you'd stream tomorrow, today, and I fucking believed it and I skipped the stream. Never not using Joshimuz.com again. Because I wasn't live, Twitch read my schedule as like, yeah, it read it wrong. Yeah, because I started stream like an hour late. That's weird though, because the stream is set to be like 4 hours long. That's dumb. Well, you got fucked, Alex or Bronx, sorry. Yeah, that's messed up. No. But you know, you've just bet some fucking numbers. That doesn't actually make that code happen. Like the game is remembering it as the amounts you bet. Big whoop, it's not executing it as script. And that is executing it as script is the next half of this run. And for live stream viewers, I'm going to have to end it there. Yeah, okay, all right. So next half of the video is executing it as script. Yeah. Okay. Right. So that's where we were at. Oh god, I've got to like what this is the sort of thing like once I get going, I'm perfectly fine and I could just blast through the whole thing and just talk for hours. But it's the starting that's difficult. I really don't know. Like getting started again is the hard part. Yeah. Let me like warm up or whatever. All right, here comes the longest jump cut ever. What? 1 day? Not even 24 hours. No. People who like build cars and shit on YouTube will be like, oh, it's been a month and you know, I did some fucking off-stream mining or whatever. Stretch those brain muscles. Yeah, let me think about what I'm going to say. Let me just do it like a dry run. Okay, so we're done setting those values. As hello YouTube. It's tomorrow, Josh here. Sorry if I repeat some things that I said yesterday, but this is taking a long time, so I have to. This is the second day of this. Anyway, so we just set all of the variables. Now we need to go execute them. And we can't do that while we're in Los Venturas. So the fastest way back to Los Santos is to Death Warp. You can see my money is going fucking berserk. Oh yeah, I need the drawing dock. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. You can see my money is going fucking berserk. Blah, 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 blah. I wish the drawing dock had like undo buttons on the top bit. Because there is an undo button, but I have to like open a sub menu for it, which is really fucking annoying. Yeah. Really annoying. Yeah, I can't see any better way of doing it. Oh well. Set a hotkey. Someone said that yesterday. Oh, yes. There was a hotkey I could set. Yeah, so let's do that quick. I can set Z, control, undo, and what's redo? Wait, I'm losing my mind. What is the... Wait, it's the thing where I'm not muscle memorying it, so I don't remember. What's the redo? That's Control Y, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I'm losing my fucking mind. Right, hotkeys. Okay. Draw, clear. We'll make draw, clear, shift, what, C. That's copy. Shift A. Oh. There is... Nope. Okay. These are the hotkeys I get. Draw clear. Draw window on dock show. Draw window or dock hide. Draw tool. This one that I just set now. That's it. That's the only... That's it. I don't get any other hotkeys. So, yep. Well, never mind then. No point setting any hotkeys and then having to remember to undo those later. All right then, never mind. Okay. What helps me get back into it is I watch where I left off. Okay, now go to the start of the stream, Katafaherk, and look at what I just did. Yep, that's such a great idea. I literally just did it. Okay, all right. Let me. Right, let me go back. All right, we'll start this. Huh. YouTube again. Sorry, live stream viewers. Again, this is not really going to be a day for chat interaction or you guys asking questions or anything. This is... Maybe I should make the title something. What could I write in the title to be like, hey guys, if you didn't watch yesterday's stream, this isn't going to make any sense. Recording of... alerts muted. Recording... video. Maybe that helps. They're like, hey, I'm like recording a video, so it's kind of fucky that you're watching the stream. I didn't mean to like do this over 2 days. It's kind of shit how this has taken so long. Yeah. All right, okay, let me... Continuing yesterday's lecture, yeah. All right, let's try to resume from here. Hopefully not... Oh, wait, do I have water? I have water. I need to not fuck my throat up like I did yesterday. Okay, here we go. Oh, my hair's doing that. Why is that? Whenever my hair does this, it gets this like curve here. Do you see this? Like this bit of hair is curved here, but this bit of hair doesn't, and it's dead straight, and it just makes this stupid like highlighting of this hole in my hair like this. And it always does this, and I don't know what does this bit of hair want to do? Like, where does it want to go? Like, it doesn't want to go to the left. Yeah, it's like it does this. I don't know. I never know how to fix it. Oh my god! See what I mean? Like, oh, it drives me nuts. I'm sure it's one of those things where it like doesn't drive anyone else nuts because you're not me. Like you'll get obsessed with like stuff about you, but you don't care that much about other people. But yeah, that bit just drives me fucking nuts. All right, okay, here we go. properly this time. Okay, hello YouTube. This is day 2 of recording. So we just set all of the variables, and now we need to go execute those variables, as I believe I said yesterday. However, we can't execute any of those variables where we are. We can't really do anything in Los Venturas. All we could do is do the gambling. So we need to head back to Los Santos. And yeah, the fastest way to do that is to Death Warp. So that's what we do. So yeah, that was the setup payload section. Yeah, now we're on to the execute payload section. So the run has like 3 sections. The run has the go to 0 setup section, then the set up the payload section of those 2 we've just done. Now we're on the execute the payload section. And in order to do this, we need to progress the game a bunch. So right now, the game state, again, because of the go to 0... Oh, no, wait, stop. Stop. I don't have the go to 0 picture up. I need that go to 0 picture. I do have it. Hold on.
This one. And then copy. Yeah, there we go. We need this picture. Was it like this? It was like this, wasn't it? Yeah. Oops. There we go. Right. Can't do the rest of this explanation without the without the go to 0 picture. Good. Okay. Oh, an excellent and clear, easy to follow diagram. Yeah, of course. Is it not? What's not to love? Right, okay, sorry. Resume. Okay, from here, Josh, from here, I promise. Okay, hello, YouTube viewers. It's day 2 now of this explanation, which has taken a long time. We just did the setting up of the payloads. We set all the variables in the Wheel of Fortune bet. Yeah, we're now on to the final part of this run. I know, like, the time length doesn't look like it, but this is, like, the final third. The first third was the doing go to 0, which we've done. Then after that, we then did the setting up the payloads, which we've just watched. Now we need to execute the payload. And the plan for executing the payload is that we need to do the whole book swapping thing again with, like, making the game, like, run the wrong thing. But we need to combine the beginning of the final cutscene of Big Smoke. We need to combine that with starting the mission Just Business. Now, again, normally you cannot do these 2 missions at the same time. This is me picking up a gun, by the way, because I want weapons. Normally you cannot do these 2 missions at the same time, right? Like, you can't have Just Business, which is, like, all the way over here at, like, Big Smoke or whatever, right? Like, it's a Big Smoke mission. You can't have the Big Smoke mission Just Business and the fucking first mission of the game called Big Smoke, annoyingly. You can't have both those missions at the same time. But obviously, because of Go to 0, we have 2 copies of, like, the mission threads. So what we can do is we can leave this mission thread, which is on Big Smoke. We can leave that alone, and we can progress this mission's thread. So the next part of this run here is just me playing missions as quick as possible, because I now need to unlock Just Business. That's the goal. Once I have unlocked Just Business through, like, normal-ish gameplay, then I can actually execute the glitch. So this part of the run here, we have, like, once we get to unlock Just Business section, we have 3 no major glitches missions, and then we have, like, 4, like, any percent no AJS missions, and then we actually execute the payload. So we're going to speed through this stuff because, yeah, the no major glitches stuff isn't too relevant. Here I'm making a horrendous mistake, and I'm brain farting. This is the worst mistake of the run. I tried to set up the go to 0 glitch again, but I've already done it, which was really fucking stupid. I should have just driven into the cutscene here, so I lost a bunch of time there. So yeah, this run is obviously easily beatable. I'm under no illusions of that. But I'm not sure if I plan to do another run anytime soon. And yeah, people like these analysis videos. So I was like, okay, I'll just do an analysis of this. This run's good enough to do analysis off of, right? Like, I run the wrong way there. Don't do that, right? You know, it's as easy as it needs to be. But yeah, so we're gonna speed through this. We'll let it just play out. But just doing tagging up turf totally normally. If you want to know the logic of how I beat these no major glitches missions as quick as possible, I have done one of these videos before. It was called How I Beat GTA SA in Under 4 Hours Without Major Glitches or something. Or was it under 5 hours? I don't remember how long it was. There's something like that. That was the first one of this series I did a long time ago. And I would have explained everything I do in tagging up turf, cleaning the hood, and drive through. So yeah, we're not worried too much about that here. But needless to say, I'm just playing the game quickly, right? Excuse me, friend. I need to. That guy's punching me. But yeah, there's obviously a wrinkle of the fact that I keep stumbling constantly. Because there's the clone CJ is falling out of bounds somewhere. But yeah, I'm just spraying things efficiently. Let's skip forwards really because there's like nothing too interesting here. This is a little interesting. I don't know if I did this in my runs back then, but I'm using replay abuse here. Again, playing a replay into this marker to like make it go faster. But this also has the side effect that when you do that, vehicles keep rolling for a little bit for some reason. So the vehicle, the Greenwood rolls forwards here and runs over Sweet, and this is actually like intentional, like what I'm trying to do. Where game audio? You should hear it. I hear it. Anyway, yeah, this is intentional. This makes this cutscene faster. Oh, it's a bit quiet for you. I'll turn it up. There we go. Yeah, this animation here where they like hug, they say like,
"Hey, get yourself a beer or something. I'll catch up with you."
Yeah, when they say get yourself a beer or something, they do like this hugging animation, and then Sweet says, "I'll catch up with you," and then the mission progresses. But Sweet can't perform the animation if he's dead. And like us, like he's like CJ's looking at Sweet's dead body down here. But yeah, you just skip the animation because Sweet's dead, so it just makes that a little bit faster as well. All right, here a little bit of keeping Ryder in the car. This part is kind of annoying because again with the stumbling, like running over here is a right pain in the ass. I should maybe look for a vehicle earlier or something, but yeah, whatever. Oh, nice shots, Josh. Oh my god. Wow, what is happening? Okay, oh my god, that was embarrassing. Jesus. Missed that guy like 12 fucking times.
Hey, grab hold of that bat over there.
Thankfully, I got a police bike. This is like optimal for this mission. A police bike comes over and then stops, and then you take it for the mission. And yeah, it was even pointed the right way and everything. Yeah, here we just shoot everybody in the face as quick as possible. You know, basic, no major glitches stuff. I'm like, again, I'm being careful with the recoil of the pistol, so I do the first shot and then I crouch and shoot the others. Shoot Ryder a little bit just for fun and also training handgun skill, but doesn't matter. It's just nothing to do in those few seconds. Yeah. Is this video going to be like 8 hours? I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's going to be quite long. I hope people enjoy it. Alright, yeah, again, replay into this bit. I don't think that actually makes it faster, looking at it, but it's just habit of, like, playing a replay into everything, right? Okay. One last no major glitches video, and then we'll get back to the glitchy stuff. So... Did I say no major glitches video? I might have said that. No major glitches mission, sorry. Whoa, nice crash. So we just go in here, play a replay into this marker, and then the plan here is to, yeah, kill. This is the same, do you remember in Big Smoke, where I said as soon as you kill one of the guys in this car, then that's good enough. In this instance, it's the same thing. As soon as I kill one of the guys in this car, the other guy will get out the car, and then you can kill him easier. You don't need to blow up the actual voodoo. You just need to kill the two enemies inside the voodoo. So the plan here is to line up Sweet with this window, and then Sweet will like shoot through the window and kill the passenger. And then the other guy gets out. You can do a little turn here and then run him over. Annoyingly, traffic has like pushed the voodoo as he was getting out. So he was stood here. He was getting out the car to stand here, and then the car was here, and now the car's been pushed to here. When that happens, he just like up warps on top of the car. So he's stood on top of the car now, and I can't run him over. But thankfully, my friends here, the OGs or whatever, were really helpful. Ryder is actually just shooting. The way this mission works is Ryder tries to kill this baller, and Sweet tries to kill this baller. And if their associated baller is dead, then I believe they just shoot the car instead. So I think Sweet shoots the car here, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he doesn't shoot at all, I'm not even sure. But Ryder, thankfully, just unloads into this guy and just kills him super quickly. If he hadn't have done that, this would have been really awkward for me to kill this guy. I would have just been stood here waiting for Ryder, but Yeah, thankfully he just kills him. So we got pretty lucky there, which is good.
That was some serious shit. Yeah, man, those bomb
Um, yeah, then just some normal bits of driving. After this marker, I need to go to Big Smoke's house, so I like try to do a 180 here into the marker like this, and then we can drive straight away. Nothing too crazy. Skip ahead a bit because nothing's happening here. Yeah, into this marker again, trying to like turn the car around so I can turn around quickly. And now we go back to doing, well, now we do 80% no HAS stuff for a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna do a cool thing here. So, remember that thing from earlier where I wanted to start a mission on mission 0, right? I wanted to do that. And the way I did it was I combined a police bike with a phone call, right? This is my little phone. There you go. It looks like a Game Boy with an antenna or something. Anyway. Yeah, I wanted to, I did the frame perfect 1 in 3 chance trick thing where I started both of these things on the same frame, and then we did the whole, like, you know, start, like, we started 2 things. One of them was set on mission to 1, the other one set on mission to 1, but then, like, one of them ended set on mission to 0, but then we didn't end the second one, so that when I do end the second one, I can go on mission 0 whenever I want, right? Well, we're gonna do something similar here, except we're gonna do a go to 0 flavor of it. So if you look on my lovely, very easy to understand go to 0 drawing, I'm gonna write go to 0 at the top. If you see down here, I should use this really. If you see down here, there's 2 vigilantes. So because we've started the game again from within the game, there are 2 vigilante scripts running right now. So basically what's going to happen is whenever I start vigilante, 2 vigilantes are going to start. And if you remember what happens when you start 2 missions on the same frame, you know, then we get this thing again, this chart that I love drawing. So we get two vigilante on mission 0s like this. And then the plan is to end one of them to go on mission 0, and then we still have the other vigilante running, and we can go on mission 0 when we want with that. Now, the way we achieve this is really funny. What we do, and like this is really good. If go to 0 wasn't so complicated, didn't lose so much time, and didn't have so many annoying ramifications, this would be really useful for doing like 80% no HAS speedruns with. But unfortunately, it isn't, because go to 0 is a right pain in the ass. But this is absolutely awesome. I wish we could do this in normal runs. So the plan is, we get onto the bike, right? We're on mission 0. We start... I fuck up and I almost death warp here too early. We start vigilante, right? So it doesn't look like it, but I've started 2 vigilantes here, which is why you get this plus 189 seconds thing, I guess. Something. It's buggered, right? The whole game's buggered. But there's 2 vigilantes running right now, and I'm on mission 1. Again, we can tell from the minimap. So what we do, if I were to get on the bike and just press the cancel vigilante button, then we would cancel both vigilantes, and then it doesn't, you know, again with the thing, we're not ending them at 2 different times. We'd be ending them both at the same time, and that doesn't help us. We want to end one of them and keep the other one running, right? So the way that we do this is we death warp like this, and I die, and you can see it says threat eliminated, but also mission failed. So what's happened here is that I have failed one copy of Vigilante, and the other one has gone up a level for some reason. Very strange, right? Now, how this works is that the game has a bunch of, like, universal mission failure states. There's a few things that can happen that will fail any mission no matter what. One of them, obviously, is dying. Dying will fail any mission no matter what, right? So if you die, it's like they didn't want every single mission scripter to have to add in a bit in their book about what happens if the player dies, right? They didn't want to have to make them do that, because that would be just a waste of time, and you'd be copy pasting the same code everywhere, and every mission maker, if anyone forgot to do it, there'd be missions that you could die on and without failing. So what they have instead is they have a bunch of global mission failure conditions that will just fail any mission that's running. And death is one of them. But that global mission failure state is in a bit of code that says if dead, right? It fail a mission, like one mission. It just finds a mission that's running and it fails it, right? But at the top of it, right, this bit of code only runs if on mission 1, right? So this code here, if you die, it fails a mission. It only happens if you're on mission 1. Now, what have we learned about what happens when a mission ends? So what's happening here is we have 2 copies of the mission. We start one, and we go on mission 1. And we start the second, and we go on mission 1. And then we die. And then because we're on mission is 1, on mission, because on mission equals 1, we fail the mission, which ends it. And then we go on mission 0. And then the second copy, we die. And is on mission equal to 1? It's not. So then we don't fail. So then nothing happens, right? So whenever you dupe stuff like this, if you die, you only fail 1 copy of it. In this instance, it's a little bit more complicated than this, because for some things, if I were to do trucking, like Halogen said, if I were to do trucking, for example, when you start trucking, the mission trucking is like, okay, here is the player's truck, right? Oh, this is a terrible truck. Wait, I gotta get my truck drawing correct. Or here is the player's truck, right? This is the truck that the player is using. This is the truck that the player is using for this mission, right? Gotta remember this truck. So when you start trucking, the game writes down in its book, okay, this truck that the player is in, that's the truck that they're gonna use for the mission. And if you get out of that truck, it will say, hey, get back into that truck, right? Or lorry, or whatever you want to call it. And if that truck blows up, or despawns, or gets drowned, or anything, if anything bad happens to this truck, the mission ends, right? So if you start 2 copies, of the trucking mission, it will start. You'll start 2 of them, and it will remember this truck, right? And the same thing happens over here. They remember the same truck, right? So these 2 trucks are the same. Then if you blow up the truck, then if you die, if you die, oh god, if you die, right? Then after you die, it checks like, oh, you're on mission 1. Yes, you are, right? So then you clear up the mission. You delete everything. When the mission ends, you delete everything the mission associated with itself. You have to delete all the things. Like, again, if you were to fail like a normal mission, it has to remove Suite. It has to remove all the enemies. It has to remove all the cutscenes and the scripts and everything loaded. So in this instance, if you die in trucking, it's like, okay, well, delete that truck then, because the player doesn't need that truck anymore, so delete that truck. And then you fail the mission because you're on mission 1, right? The second copy, it doesn't care that you die because you're on mission 0. But what it does care about is your truck is dead. Your truck is dead, so then you fail the mission because no truck, right? So you can't do this like dupe and then die to keep one copy of it running for everything. If it's a thing that cares about one specific thing living or being around, then that thing will get deleted by the first copy failing and you won't have any more. This is a common problem in Outrider, where if I fail one copy of Outrider, the second copy will fail, and it will say like Torino died on the bottom of the screen. And chat always gets confused because they're like, "What? How did Torino die?" And it's not Torino dying. Torino just gets deleted by the first copy of the mission failing, so that the second copy of the mission sees Torino is not. Torino doesn't exist anymore, and it's like, "Oh, Torino died. Whoops!" And then the second copy fails, and then the second copy writes on the screen like Torino dead. Lol. So yeah. So it doesn't work with everything. But it does work with Vigilante. You might be thinking, okay, Josh, but this bike, you need this bike for the mission. Why does dying in the first copy of Vigilante not remove the bike? Well, Vigilante for two reasons. Vigilante didn't spawn this bike. This bike is yours, right? It just exists in the world. They don't want to like just get rid of it. You can turn Vigilante on and off at will, and it won't like destroy your bike. But also, the second thing, yeah, like Skip says, you don't need this exact bike. If I also had like a car, that is a terrible picture of a car, but if I also had a police car, I could start Vigilante in this vehicle. I could get out of it, get into the police car, and then continue Vigilante, right? So the Vigilante mission isn't looking for the bike. It's looking for a police vehicle. It doesn't care what one. So because of that, it doesn't have an association to that one vehicle. So it doesn't. I can like freely get out of this and get into any fucking police bike and it will work. So because of that, when I die here and the first mission forgets about this police bike, which makes the second version forget about that police bike, it doesn't matter because I could use any police bike. It doesn't care. Right? We have that timer on the bottom of the screen that says you have this much time to get into. It says here, you have 50 seconds to return to a police vehicle. A police vehicle. It doesn't care what one. Any police vehicle. So this is like super awesome because now instead of needing to do a frame perfect 1 in 3 chance trick, now I just get onto the fucking police bike, press one button to start Vigilante, and then death warp, and we're done. I've got on mission 0. It's that simple. Obviously, this is not super optimal because now I'm in the hospital, which isn't great. We also have a slight problem in that I have Vigilante running, and this is different from On Mission 0 phone call. On Mission 0 Vigilante is less useful because if I go and walk into the CJ mission right now, we're doing the book thing again, where the game has Vigilante loaded. And then I'll walk into the marker and it will load the other mission, and then Vigilante doesn't know what to do with this information, and it will crash, right? So it's that problem again. But that's fine, because I have like a minute to change this on mission 0 to something else. So what we do instead is, I'm going to get in a fire truck here, but don't worry about that. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the phone call. I'm going to hold the phone call with my 4 button. So now I'm holding the phone call. And as you can see, when I get into this fire truck, I'm now on mission 1. So what I've got running now is we have Vigi running and we have the phone call running, right? So we have 2 things again. So we're in that situation when we have 2 different things again. And I'm going to end, like, again, we have 2 different things that are running. And because we have 2 different things, I can, like, end Vigilante. And then we'll go on mission 0, and it doesn't matter that I like still have the phone call because it just sets it to on mission 0. It doesn't check if I'm doing anything else. So this is fine. So in like a few seconds now, it will say your time as a law enforcement officer is over, and then we get these markers back. But I still have the phone call. I'm still holding 4. I'm still holding the phone call button. So now I'll explain the fire truck in a second. But now I have a phone call, right? So now I can walk into this mission, and as I walk in, I let go of the phone call, and then the phone call goes blah, 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 like that. That's the phone call being cancelled. So I ended the phone call, and now we're on mission 0 again. So I'm doing this mission while I'm on mission 0. So that's how we transfer like dupe to vigilante into on mission 0 mission. You just like you start vigilante, you def warp, you hold the phone call, you let vigilante end, and then you could use the phone call doesn't have a book with it in the same sense, which is why you could just use a phone call with missions and it won't crash the game. Because we're not like overwriting a book that already exists. Phone calls are like they use like a different shelf on the bookcase or whatever you want to call it, right? So it's fine, it works. Anyway, you'll see I'm taking a fire truck here, as I said. Phone call and valet don't have books; they're more like a post-it. Yeah, definitely. It's more like a post-it note. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I got a fire truck here. I need a fire truck for later in the run for a for the setup to do the actual execution of the payload. So because I just def warped, driving from the hospital to where the fire truck spawns will always mean it spawns for the most part. Sometimes if you drive a certain way, the fire truck here won't spawn and it's really annoying. Also, why is there a fire truck spawn here? Like, is this a firehouse or whatever they're called in America? It doesn't look like it. It just looks like a random building. I've just thought about this now. Why is there a fire engine here? Like, what? Yeah, is that a firehouse? It doesn't say it anywhere, does it? It looks like shops to me. Look, are they using like a shop texture? The hell? Okay, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I need the fire engine for later in the run. So I'm gonna just take it now while I'm right next to the it from the hospital, and I needed to take a vehicle back to Grove Street anyway. So we just we take the fire engine. Oh yeah, I'm stuck shooting here, by the way. I'm stuck shooting because this is going a bit deep into mechanics, but you know how this game's a PlayStation 2 game. What does a PlayStation 2 controller look like? It looks like... Hey, you know what? That ain't half bad. I don't hate it. And then it's like this. Oh, I'm doing a lovely... Hey, this isn't that bad. Okay, give me some credit here. This ain't that bad. This is easily recognizable as specifically a PS2 controller. Look at that. Anyway, oh wait, I forgot a few. Wait, hold on. What does it look like? It's like a this, and then there's a this, right? Yeah, there you go. Oh, and also we can't forget there's a button here. There you go. That's a PS2 controller. Did that from memory. Right. Yeah, anyway, you got to remember this game is a PS2 game. And Rockstar, when they ported this, they did a not great job. Or, well, you could say it's a great job. They did a weird job. Basically, you know, you have your keybinds, like sprint will equal space or whatever. You have like that menu where it lists all your keybinds and stuff, right? And forwards is W and up arrow, right? You have all that stuff. Well, it looks like the game is using, you know, it's a PC game. It uses like your keyboard inputs for all of the things and stuff, right? Like how does a PS2 controller version come into this, Josh? Like you're playing, why is undo not working? I can't undo that much stuff. You're playing the PC version of the game. Why do we care about the PS2 controller? Well, since the game originally was a PS2 game, they programmed everything assuming that you're using a PS2 controller. So when you play the game, it's checking for like PS2 controller things. I have a PS4 controller here, which is close enough for us to demonstrate with. But like when you play the PS2 version of the game, sprint is the X button, right? If you're on foot and you want to sprint, you mash the X button. That's how you do it. The way that they check whether you want to skip a cutscene or not, they don't check for whether you're pressing the X button. they check to whether you're pressing the sprint button. And the sprint button is X on a PS2 controller, so that's how they do it, right? That's how they check whether you want to skip the cutscene or not. Or like, for example, when I'm doing gambling, for example, here, the increase wager is the jump button. So increase wager is a square on a PS2 controller. Decrease wager is left mouse button, which is left circle on a PS2 controller. And proceed is the sprint button, which is space, which is X on a PS2 controller. And return is quit, which is enter vehicle, which is the triangle button on a PS2 controller. So again, they're not checking for left shift, left mouse button, space, return. They're checking for jump, attack, sprint, enter vehicle, right? Those are the buttons they're actually checking for. Because if I go into my settings here and I change my sprint button from space to like, I don't know, Z or something, it will say it will say, why can't I draw? It will say Z for proceed instead, right? I'm trying not to lose my lovely PS2 drawing. So what this means is basically that's all well and good, and that sounds like totally reasonable, but what they're actually doing for the PS2 version is fine and reasonable. Like, okay, you don't need to check if the player presses the X button. You can just check to see if they press sprint. Like, that's fine. Whatever. That's all well and good. But this is when they made the PC version, they have a bit of a predicament because you're not using a PS2 controller anymore. You're using a keyboard and mouse or any other number of various different inputs. Or if you're playing on Xbox, you're using an Xbox controller or whatever, right? So what they do is they translate all of your inputs to a PlayStation 2 controller, a virtual fake PS2 controller. So when I press space, what they translate space to is they translate it to X, and then they check, hey, is X is the sprint key, sprint key, so then they make that the proceed button, right? That's what's actually happening under the hood. The keybind menu, you're not binding keys to sprint and attack and get in vehicle and all that stuff. You're binding keys to an imaginary PS2 controller that like the game just has in the background and exists, right? That's how they do this. And that you might be thinking, okay, Josh, why does that matter, right? Like that sounds fine. Like the game works, the keybinds work. Who cares if they're using like some extra like hidden layer for this? Like it doesn't really make a difference, right? Well, well, that was a big, oh my, okay. Well, it does matter because of one fact, and that's you can change the control scheme changes whether you're in a vehicle or on foot. So you know you have two different menus on the on the PC side, right? You have two different keybind menus. You have on foot and in vehicle. They're like two different things. What happens when you're on foot? The game uses your on foot keybinds to translate to the the fake PS2 controller, and then translate that to actually inputs, right? But as soon as you get into a vehicle, the game swaps from using those keybinds to using a completely different set of keybinds, but to the same virtual PS2 controller. The PS2 controller doesn't have different, like, it doesn't change whether you're in a vehicle or not. Like, X on a PS2 controller is sprint and accelerate in vehicle. Whereas on PC, sprint is spacebar, but accelerate in vehicle is W. Those are like two different buttons, right? So if I hold space when I'm on foot, I'm holding the virtual PS2 X button. When I get into a vehicle, I'm not holding X anymore. I'm holding R1 because R1 is handbrake, which is what I have space bound to. So the game sees it as if I'm holding X, and then I'm suddenly holding R1, right? And it sees it as like a different input. Now, again, you're like, okay, cool, Josh. That sounds like everything works so far. That's how the game should work. If you are holding sprint on foot and then you got into a vehicle, you wouldn't want the vehicle to suddenly accelerate because of the fake PS2 controller stuff. That sounds fine. What's the problem here? The problem is this allows us to do actions that we shouldn't be able to do in or out of a vehicle that we shouldn't be able to do. So, as I just said, I have a phone call here, and I'm holding the phone call. I'm holding the 4 button because that's my phone call button, right? So, if we think about a PS2 controller, the phone call button is L1. So, if you hold down L1 on PS2, everybody get your PS2s out and try this at home. If you hold L1 on foot on a PS2, you will hold the action button, and this is the thing that holds the phone call. And it also opens this stats screen. If you hold down L1, that happens, right? But if I'm holding down the phone call button, which is 4, and then I get into a vehicle, well, what should happen is my keybinds should then be different. And also, you can't have a phone call in a vehicle. Like, when you're in a vehicle, you can't answer phone calls. You can't get phone calls. You shouldn't be able to do this. So what should happen is that it should just drop the input, right? Like it should just like let go of the button because you're not holding L1 anymore. You can't hold the phone call button. There is no phone call button in vehicle. If you open the settings menu on PC and you go to keybinds and you look in the vehicle section, there is no phone call hold button. That's not a thing. You can't do that. But what you can do is you can hold L1. You can hold L1 the whole time. Do you know what L1 in vehicle is? L1 in vehicle is set to secondary fire. You have circle for primary fire, and you have L1 for secondary fire, okay? You may be able to see where I'm going with this. If you bind action on foot to a button, for me it's 4. Don't worry about why I'm using 4. There's reasons, but it doesn't matter. Handbrake is R1, chat, not L1. L1 is secondary fire. Trust me, I know. If you bind a button to action on foot, but also bind that same button to secondary fire in vehicle, when I go from being on foot to being in a vehicle, I've drawn a PS2 controller. I've not been using it this whole time because I'm using a real controller. When you go into a vehicle, right, I'm now, as soon as I get in the vehicle, I'm now holding the secondary fire button, which is why I'm shooting the water cannon. I'm shooting the water cannon the whole time because I'm holding the secondary fire button. What the game sees this as is I'm holding L1 on the fake PS2 controller because I'm holding the phone call, and then I get into a vehicle, and I'm still holding L1 because now I'm holding the secondary fire button, and both of these buttons are the same thing on a PS2 controller. So what this allows you to do is you can trick the game into letting you continue an input even though there isn't a fucking keybind for it. I do not have a keybind for hold phone call in vehicle. So by doing this, and there are some other inputs that you can also overlap the same way, but the phone call is the most important version. By doing this, I can now have phone calls in vehicles, even though that should be impossible. Lots of people who try and like copy like 80% No-AJS speedruns will not know about this, and they'll always run into a problem where when they get into a vehicle, they'll let go of, they'll lose the phone call, and they're like, why did I lose the phone call? It's because of this. You need to make sure that your keybinds are the same thing. You have to imagine the virtual PS2 controller and copy how that works. So yeah, because I've bound 4 to both action on foot and secondary fire in vehicle, both of those things are the L1 button on a PS2 controller. So that means I can hold the phone call even when I shouldn't. top 5 most asked questions in help channels. Yeah, it is like it's a hidden thing that you don't see when you just watch speedruns. That's why this game's sometimes janky controls, because translation layer. Yes, exactly. And this is going to come up a lot later in the speedrun, where I'm like trying to I have menus on the screen while I'm also playing. I have like menus on the screen while I'm also playing the game at the same time. We then have the same situation where I have to remember the virtual PS2 controller, otherwise I'm going to fuck up the inputs. It's the same thing. Where was I? I was here. Whoops. But yeah, it's if you ever see me doing something really weird, like here, why am I continuously shooting the fire truck? It's because I don't have a choice. Because I'm holding L1 on a PS2 controller, and L1 is secondary fire. But I need to have the phone call. So I still have the phone call right now, even though I shouldn't. So there you go. So now I can get out of the vehicle. I'm still holding the phone call. And we could use this for doing on mission 0. So there you go. There's the PS2 controller emulation talk. So anyway, we store the fire truck here. I'll talk about the fire truck more later, but yeah, I need it for later in the run. So we just know that I have one. And now we can continue the run. So what I'm gonna do here, this is 80% no AJS things, so I won't cover it too much. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk into the marker, and then I'm gonna immediately let go of the phone call. And then what's happening is CJ is answering the phone call at the same time the mission is starting. But again, with the like CJ control state thing, it's a 1, a 2, a 0, a 1, or a 2 in this instance. When I answer the phone call, we get set to control state 2. Like I should be doing the phone call opening animation, and I shouldn't be able to attack or get in vehicles or anything like that. Then I start the mission, which then sets my control state to 1. I can't control CJ at all, right? But then I skip the cutscene. And when I skip the cutscene, now my control state becomes 0. So I have full control over CJ, even though right now I'm supposed to be answering a phone call. Like CJ should be in the middle of doing the phone call animation. But I've overlapped the control state changes to allow me to get what we call a hands-free phone call. And when you do that, you can cancel the phone call. So the two things it doesn't want you doing is shooting guns and getting into vehicles. If you do either of those things, well, sort of, but I'm getting into a vehicle before the phone call starts here. Because I'm doing that like properly cancels the phone call. Like I never answer it, sort of thing. Like it's gonna keep ringing because it like failed to like the phone call failed to happen. So what happens here is all of the subtitles are going to go berserk because it's like the whole phone call like skipping itself like that. So because I got into the vehicle quick enough, I've like properly cancelled the phone call. So the reason I've done this is because I want this phone call for later. I need to answer this phone call. Well, I don't need to, but I want to answer this phone call in a minute. I don't want to answer it now, but I need to answer the phone call in order to carry the on mission 0 through this. I can't just hold the phone call through the cutscene because again the control state is wrong. Like I will lose control of CJ and it will forcibly answer the phone call for me. And we can't have that because then I won't be able to answer it hands-free and then I won't be able to cancel it in a way that keeps the phone call ringing. So I want the I want to begin answering the phone call now, so that when I get to this point, I can cancel the phone call and then it goes back into the queue. So that's what I'm doing there. And then, yeah, that gives me on mission 0. And then because I'm on mission 0, I can do fucky things in this mission. So you'll see the fucky things here. Ow. Sorry. Right. So, fucky things. So we're going to start this bit. Now, you know this bit is the, this is 9s and AKs. You can see something absolutely unbelievably fucked is happening right now. My phone is ringing during a mission, during a cutscene even, which should not be possible. I should not be able to, get phone calls on a mission. But again, because I'm on mission 0, the phone is checking like, hey, is the player on a mission? Oh, he's not because he's on mission 0. Okay, ring the phone, right? But that's like, it's totally broken because I'm also on a mission when it doesn't think I am. So because of this, the phone call is going to allow me to do a bunch of interesting little tiny skips in this bit. The game can only play one subtitled voice line at a time. It can't play like more than one subtitled voice line. So because of that, I can like, oh, and also the phone counts as a sound effect or something like that. I don't quite understand, but you can use the phone call to like skip voice lines here and speed this up. So the phone is ringing right now, and I'm going to like shoot, and that will cancel the phone call. And watch what happens to the voice line, right? So I'm gonna skip back a bit. Watch what happens to the voice line. You see, it just ends in the middle of nowhere. He's supposed to say, "Oh, Beverly, be so proud of you, boy," and then the cutscene, and then the mission continues, right? But because the phone call stopped ringing, when the phone call unloads, it unloads all the voice lines, I guess. So then this voice line gets unloaded, so it ends early. It's like a little tiny time save. There's more coming. Oh, and I'm just shooting Big Smoke for handgun skill because there's nothing else I can do to speed this up. So we do this stuff. And then we shoot these. Oh, I do a fun thing here. I punch Emmett so he gets in the way of Big Smoke. Yeah, because nothing else happening here. So now I'm holding the phone call again. If you look down at my 4 button, the 4 button is the one you want to look for if I'm holding a phone call or not. So this phone that just rang, I'm now holding it. And I'm going to answer it in the middle of this cutscene here. Bang. This unfortunately took longer. The Emmett glitch made it slower. So right here, when he says, "You want some too?" you notice I've now let go of the phone call. So if I look at my 4 button. As soon as he finishes saying that, I let go of the phone call. And now CJ's going to answer the phone. You see, he's doing we're in control state 2. He's answering the phone call animation. And I'm going to overlap the voice lines with the phone call. So this voice line, yeah, this voice line here of, "Oh man, check out Special Agent Big Smoke." It's like a really long voice line and takes forever to happen. And the mission doesn't progress until it's been said. But do you know what's a really short voice line? Who? This phone call has the ones we're listening to are, "Carl, it's Officer Hernandez." We saw it on the screen just then. Carl, oh wow, it's like there for like a frame. Carl, it's Officer Hernandez. That's the phone call, right? So we have a bunch of voice lines here. We have "Ice Cold Baby," which is a short voice line, and I'm overwriting the "Carl, it's" voice line. I'm overwriting that with "Ice Cold Baby" because that's shorter, right? So the Carl, it's Officer Hernandez voice line gets cancelled by "Ice Cold Baby." Oh no, sorry, it gets overwritten by. Wait, no, what happens here? Oh no, wait, sorry, I'm wrong about this. The voice lines cancel each other. Yeah, okay, there's a... Yeah, "I knew I was the chosen one," or something, right? He says that, right? He's referencing the Make 6. "I knew I was the chosen one." We are overlapping this voice line with this voice line, and it seems to cancel both of them. I haven't really analyzed this super hard before, so that's why I'm getting it wrong, but we are overlapping these 2 voice lines of each other, and they both just kind of skip instantly, which, you know, makes it faster. But then we say "who" instead of "this," which is like way faster than saying all of this. And then the cutscene ends, let's see. And then we start shooting, so the phone call... well, actually, I think I put the phone call down, right? Is what I do here. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of this wrong. It's cold, but yeah, I'm putting the phone call down. You can see I'm spamming the F button to put the phone call down. As soon as I hear "who," I like... CJ is now putting the phone down. Look, you can see it happening here. He's putting the phone down. He's in like the middle of doing it. Well, he does it like this. So yeah, anyway, I'm overlapping the phone call with some voice lines in this unskippable cutscene just to make it a little bit faster. I also did need to answer that phone call. I have to answer that phone call to progress the game. So rather than going like all the way to Grove Street and like, you know, just standing here, picking up the phone, putting it down, then walking into the marker, instead of doing all of that, I'm answering the phone call while I'm waiting for cutscenes to happen anyway, so I don't lose any time, right? So this is like way faster. And I need to answer that phone call anyway. And I also get to continue being on mission 0. So this is just free time save. It's just all the time save to like skip these cutscenes a little bit quicker. There's going to be more time saves with on mission 0 in this mission as well. Nice shooting, idiot. I forgot to left click. Right, so again here, I'm holding 4. So this cutscene's happening. You could begin holding a phone call in a cutscene. Don't ask me how that works, but you can. So I'm holding the phone call now. And again, we're in a car, and I'm holding the secondary fire button. The vehicle doesn't need to be able to secondary fire. Like, we don't have any, like, guns on this vehicle or anything. But it doesn't matter. The game still knows I'm holding the L1 button and will keep holding the phone call for me. So I'm holding the phone call here. And I'm going to carry it all the way for the rest of this drive.
What are you talking about?
And again, with the control state thing, even if I let go of a phone call when I'm inside a car, it will still change my control state to like 0 or open control or whatever you want to call it. So what happens here is I drive into this marker like this. And as soon as this cutscene starts, you can see it again, the bottom left, I let go of the 4 button, right? There, I let go of the 4 button here. So what happened was the cutscene started, took control away from me. Then I let go of the phone call, which gives me control again. And now I can move in this cutscene. Do you see? I'm like driving. I shouldn't be able to do that. I shouldn't be able to move while I'm in this cutscene. So I reverse the car to in front of Big Smoke's house so that it's parked right here in this cutscene and I can see what I'm doing. Then I preemptively open the door. And then I wait for an animation to start. There's like an animation where CJ walks over here, and then or here, I can't remember where, but he walks somewhere, and then he answers a fake like cutscene phone call. He answers a phone call, and then you can't move and stuff. But I wait for him to start that forced animation, and as soon as he does, I then tell him to get into the car with F, and it cancels that animation, and then again I could drive here. See, look, CJ is supposed to be answering a phone call here. Like, you can even hear, like, a phone call sound effect. Like, watch what happens.
Hey, I see your rap. Later, Smoke. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Speak.
CJ is supposed to be stood here. He's supposed to have the phone up to his ear. And he says, speak, right? But he's not there because I'm just fucking, I'm leaving. I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm out, right? I've just left and I've taken Big Smoke's car and I'm driving down the road towards the Binko because this cutscene, this phone call here is Sweet telling you, hey, you need to go change your clothes or whatever. So the next part of this mission happens at the Binko. Unfortunately, I drove into a wall here. But, you know, I can't fucking see what's happening. This is why I'm honking, is so that I can at least hear how far away from the camera I am, right?
Thanks, CJ. I see.
Yeah, you can see the car is pointed a little bit to the left. I don't notice it. I do turn to the left. Oh, I hit a lamppost. You can hear me hit the lamppost. Look, listen.
I see your rap. Later, Smoke. Thanks, man.
Bonk.
Appreciate that.
Oh, he says, thanks, man, appreciate that. No, I hit a car. I must hit a car, because CJ says that. Well, as soon as I hit a vehicle, I have no idea what's happening anymore, right? So, I have no idea what's happening. I'm just holding W and turning right and just praying that's the correct movement. And it sort of was. But yeah, in an ideal world, I can be here by the time that cutscene ends, which obviously is quite fast. Already told you I am. Sorry, I shouldn't be fucking parroting voice lines in a tutorial video. Sorry, I always do that. So anyway, we drive over here. We cancel the phone call by getting out of the vehicle. And because they're both triangle on a PS2 controller, so you could cancel the phone call and get out the vehicle at the same time. And then this phone call rings here. So this is the phone call again that I want to carry. So I'm doing a series of on mission 0 missions in a row. Like all 4 of these missions I'm doing on mission 0. And I can if I'm always holding the phone call before the mission ends, remember with the the start and the end thing, if I make sure I'm on 2 different things when one of them ends, if I also have this one, then I can change on mission at my will. Like this is the phone call, right? So if I can control the phone call reasonably well, I know it rings every 20 seconds. I can hold the button for it to buffer it till later, and I can let go of it whenever I want. So because of that, the phone call essentially turns into an on-mission change button, right? Like I could just use the phone call to change my on-mission 0 state whenever I want. So yeah, right here again, I'm on mission 0 because you can see I have the CJ marker. That phone call rings, I go on mission 1, I hold it, and I go into the thing.
Hey, hi, welcome.
It was hey, hi, welcome. And then we leave to just do the mission things and get back into the vehicle. And now I'm on mission 0 again. So the mission ends. It sets me to on mission 0, but I also have the phone call. We're overlapping these on mission changes. So by doing this, you can carry the on mission 0 phone call through all of these missions and just keep using it for lots of things. And you can see in this mission here, I saved a lot of time by having an on mission 0 phone call. Because I had it, I could skip voice lines, I can regain controls in cutscenes, I could just go fast, right? Because I'm using this. Yeah, it's fast to have this. I also want it, I need to be on mission 0 for the end, for the execution of the payload. So I might as well get on mission 0 before 9s and AKs. Carry on mission 0 for all these missions and then use it for later. Because I could also save time by having it now. And if I could just carry it all the way, I only need to get on mission 0 once. I might as well get it early and then use it to go fast. You might be wondering why I don't do it in these other missions. It doesn't actually save time in these other missions. So I don't bother doing it until 9s and AKs. It would just be a hassle in those other missions to carry the on mission 0 phone call. Okay. So next mission, this is OG Loke, OM0. So here, I did the same thing again. I'm holding the phone call, I walk into the marker, I let go of the phone call, and then I'm in a car. And when you're in a car, you can't answer phone calls. So the phone call tries to load, and then it's like, wait a minute, we're in a car, I can't play the phone call. And then it goes, and then the phone call's cancelled, right? So we didn't actually answer it. And I'm on mission 0 again. So now we just do the mission. We do this mission sort of normally. I'll skip forwards a little bit. It's just me crashing or whatever. Yeah, we go into this cutscene. This is an important replay. For whatever reason, the fade on this cutscene is really, really long. I don't know why, but it is. So this is a really important replay to play. It saves a lot of time doing this. Doesn't look it, but it does. And now we have a funny thing happen. So you remember I did go to 0, and I said how there's 2 CJs. Hasn't really, impacted anything up until this point, except the stumbling. But, who's this? Do you see that? There's someone window shopping over there. I wonder who that is. They seem to be moving around a lot. Oh, hey, look. It's the other CJ. Dun, dun, dun. Spider-Man meme here, or whatever. Yeah, for whatever reason, it seems consistent that clone CJ ends up on this road here. He's always, here. I don't know why. It must just be the way we move and the series of, collisions we load and stuff like that. But yeah, if I were to get out of the... Oh, old CJ. Sorry, I mean old CJ. If I were to get out of the car here and move around, I could, just move around with both the CJs, and I wouldn't stumble either. But yeah, we need to be careful not to run him over here, because that would damage him, obviously. I don't think it would kill him in one go, because CJ has a lot of health, way more than a normal ped. So I don't think it would kill him running him over, but you still need to be careful. I don't want to damage him, right? I want to damage him as little as possible. So yeah, this is the awkward thing again where it's the PS2 controller emulation thing again. If I use handbrake, I'll make that CJ sprint. He'll sprint because that's X on a PS2 controller. If I turn right, he walks to the right relative to the camera. If I turn left, he walks to the left relative to the camera. If I accelerate, accelerate is... Wait, hang on. No, wait, yeah, wait. Accelerate is W, and W is... Wait, hold on, I'm getting confused now. W is X, right? No, he's always sprinting. Wait, handbrake is jump. Sorry. Handbrake is jump. If I handbrake, he'll jump. No, if I brake, he'll jump. Oh, I'm getting confused again. Anyway, it's all fucked up, right? It's all fucked.
What's your plan?
R1 is handbrake. Right, yeah, square is jump. If I brake the car, if I press S to slow the car down, on foot CJ will jump. That's it. Yeah, oh my god, it fucking... If I'm doing the run, I can keep this in my head, but when I'm like just explaining it out loud, it's difficult. I know all of the keybind combinations just intuitively, but explaining it out loud is really fucking with my head. But anyway, yeah, he's using the on-foot controls, I'm using the in-car controls. It's totally fucked. Professor is getting confused with the overcomplications. Yeah. Alright, anyway. Just joined. Can someone explain what's going on? Read the title, my friend. The title explains what's going on. Alright, so here's OG Loke. The phone call's ringing, but I just let it ring. It doesn't matter, because it just puts itself down here. You see, like, there's a bit of delay. So when phone's ringing, so I'm on mission 1, and then I get on the bike, and then the phone call cancels, and then I get set to on mission 0 a little bit later. Do you see?
Ooh, chase me, chase me.
Chase me, chase me. Okay, so we're chasing this guy. Nothing is really happening crazy here. There's a little bit of a strat here where I kill the guy early. No major glitches strat. We don't need to explain it for this video. But yeah, I'm basically, I know the way he drives. He drives around this corner and then goes this way. So because of that, I know I can just sit here and wait for him. And as soon as he gets here, I can shoot him myself and just blow him up. And it's just faster than just chasing him the whole time. Yeah. Kablooey! So yeah, pretty simple. Then we, oh yeah, I'm stuck reloading this gun for a little bit, which is annoying. So we just take OG Loke, the phone call's ringing again, but we're not worried about it right now. And we find the best vehicle we can as quickly as possible. We take OG Loke all the way across town. So where's CJ? Is he here? Sometimes CJ is stood here. I don't see him. He must have run somewhere. Is he over here? No, I don't see him. Yeah, he always gets stuck on this road, it seems. But yeah, he wasn't there that time. Who knows where he is? He's just running around randomly, right? Because we're driving and running randomly all over the place. So he's just doing random shit all the time. Anyway, we drive into the marker. Then when the mission ends, CJ goes out of the car automatically and goes on foot. Like this.
Yeah, for sure.
And when he's on foot, the phone call rings. So now I can, again, hold 4. And I'm holding the phone call. And we get to keep the phone call after the mission. We don't lose any time for having it like that. So now I have the phone call still. And since the vehicle I had was reasonably fast, I just take it again and drive all the way back over. Is there a CJ? I don't see CJ. It's probably likely that he gets stuck in here or something. I don't know. Maybe we did see him? Nah, don't see him. Don't know where he is. He's somewhere. It doesn't matter. As long as he's not getting himself hurt, it doesn't matter. Okay, so... carrying on, we've now done OG Loke. We're going to do a bit of a funny thing here. And it's debatable whether this is faster or not, but I think it's cool, so I like doing it. We're going to do what's called a dupe and fail, as I call it. So you see this other splits are OM0 for on mission 0. We're going to do a dupe and fail. So remember that thing I explained with trucking, where if you have 2 copies of trucking, what the first copy remembers the truck, the second copy remembers the truck, and if the first copy, if the first copy fails, it will delete the truck. Then the truck doesn't exist for the second copy, and then that version will fail as well, right? Because both of these trucks are the same truck, even though they're 2 different copies of the mission. Well, that applies to friendly things like trucks or allies or things you need to live. It also applies to enemies. If I have a mission where there's like 5 guys I need to kill, I'm not going to draw 5 stick figures, but if I have 5 guys I need to kill in 2 copies of the mission, if the first copy of the mission unloads, it will unload all of its stuff, and then the second copy of the mission is like, oh hey, these 5 guys don't exist anymore, you must have killed them, I will progress the mission, right? So you could do it with like enemies, with targets and stuff as well. This is what I call a dupe and fail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dupe the mission, which means it's short for duplication. I'm gonna like start 2 copies of the mission. It's a little bit weird the way I have to do it. I have to start 1 copy. Now I'm on mission 0. The phone call's ringing, but instead of being in control state 2, which I should be in, I'm actually in control state 1 or whatever I said it was. So I can shoot and all that stuff, and doing so will break the phone call. So I'm going to push this car out the way, because I need it to be out the way, and then I'm going to shoot, and this is going to fuck up the phone call, you can see. It fucks up the phone call when I do this.
Hey, what's up?
If you don't respect your body, ain't nobody gonna respect your body.
Like that. And that breaks the phone call, and then it counts as me not answering it. That phone call is the sweet tells me about the gym phone call. And that is a very important phone call for executing the payload later. So we absolutely need to keep that phone call under all circumstances. So it's important that I don't answer that one. So anyway, I cancel the phone call by shooting because, again, I let go of the phone into the marker, which breaks the phone call and lets me do this shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, CJ, it's
So I could do that. I push the car out the way, cancel the phone call, and now I start the mission. What happens here when I start the mission is that when I start the mission, I already have 1 copy of Running Dog, right? And then I start a second copy of Running Dog. But this copy of Running Dog isn't on that copy of Running Dog isn't on chapter 1 anymore because I've already started it and I've watched the cutscene and all that stuff. That copy of Running Dog is on chapter 3, right? And on chapter 3, it says Big Smoke needs to live, his car needs to live, all this other stuff, right? So when I start the second copy of Running Dog, wait, what does happen here? It creates it unloads the Big Smoke pointer. Actually, I'm not actually 100% certain what happens here, but when I start the second copy of Running Dog, it makes the first copy of Running Dog fail because its copy of Big Smoke and stuff don't exist anymore. So if you watch what happens here, I start... Oop, it was really quick. This happens really fast. We're going to have to go like frame by frame. So I walk in. This is the second copy of Running Dog I start. Running Dog starts. As soon as we get to this point, we change back to chapter 1 of the book, which fucks everything up. Now, you see at the bottom here, it says, Big Smoke died, right? At the bottom. The first copy of the mission, that mission's Big Smoke doesn't exist anymore. Like, Big Smoke got unloaded for whatever reason. It's something to do with starting the second copy. I'm not actually quite certain. But it gets unloaded for whatever reason, which means the first copy is like, hey, my Running Dog is dead. And it says if Running Dog is dead, if Big Smoke is dead, I have to fail. So then the first copy of Running Dog fails while I'm walking into the cutscene of Running Dog, right? So you got to remember, there's a red marker here that I'm inside of, right? It should have been like that, my bad. There's a red marker that I'm inside of here that starts the mission. If I'm on mission 0, I will start running dog because I'm inside this mission. So this running dog fails, and then it sets on mission to 0 because it failed, right? So that because of that, I start another copy of running dog. You can see. So if I play this back, if I play this back a bit slower in one go, you can see I start one copy. That's a replay. Don't worry about that. I start one copy of running dog. That's the second copy. The first copy of running dog fails. There it is. I skipped over it a little bit, and then it starts a second copy of running dog. I kind of fucked this up a little bit. Hang on. This is a bit hard. This is really hard to see. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. It was there. Let me go back. Loads. God, it's really difficult to find the right frame. Here. Do you see what's happening here? If I like, if I delete all this real quick, there are 2 CJs. Do you see that? Because the cutscene is playing twice because I've duped the mission. So there's 2 CJs. These are the fake cutscene CJs that aren't real. So that then I've started a second copy of running dog like this. This copy doesn't exist anymore because it failed. But now we have 2 copies of running dog. And these 2 copies of running dog are still on chapter 1. They're still on chapter 1, and chapter 1 is running dog intro cutscene, right? So they haven't they haven't got to the bit where they make the big smoke yet. Oh, that's terrible. Both of these copies haven't got to the bit where they make big smoke yet. They've only got to like here in their mission script, right? They need to like progress past. Once they get past the cutscene, then they'll make their big smokes, and then if those big smokes die, the missions will fail. So both copies are in the cutscene. We can't do this normally because if I try to just like walk into this marker and then let go of the phone call and try to answer the phone call in this cutscene, it doesn't work for whatever reason. I can't remember the reasons, but it doesn't. So this is why you have to do it this way. I have to start one copy and then like fail it, which starts 2 copies at the same time. So we go over here, we start 2 copies, and then this makes 2 Glendales, sorry. It makes 2 Glendales. They both are set to spawn. Well, I think the Glendales are set to spawn slightly in the air. That is a terrible, hang on. Sure. Both the Glendales are set to spawn slightly in the air like this. And they both spawn at exactly the same time. So now the game has 2 vehicles inside of each other at the exact same time. And the physics goes, whoa! Like that. Because there's like, they're both vehicles are colliding with each other the maximum amount they could possibly be colliding. And they go blur and splurt out of each other, right? So one of them goes to the ground. The other one pops up and like falls off of it. If you've seen me do Life's a Beach dupe, this is why what the vans like go blur like out of that, and one of them is like a really funny angle and stuff. Because they both just like they're inside of each other, and then the next frame they're colliding, and the physics goes blur, just shoots them out. So anyway, this spawns 2 Glendales here. This is why I had to move this Glendale, because if you have 3 Glendales here, then this one can go all the way like over here and flip and shit like that. And what we have to remember is that there's two copies of Running Dog, right? There's 2 copies of Running Dog, but they're both using the same book. So what's happened is the first copy has spawned. I'm going to try and do a good Glendale. Yeah, the first copy has spawned a Glendale, right? And then it remembers, like, okay, this Glendale is the Glendale that you need to keep alive. That's the Glendale, right? Then the second copy spawns its Glendale. Oh, sorry, it remembers that this is the Glendale, and then it writes in the book, okay, this Glendale is the Glendale that has to live for this mission. It writes it in his book, and then it closes it. Then the second copy happens, and it makes its Glendale, right? Like the, oh god, that's terrible. It makes its Glendale, and then it says, okay, This is the Glendale, right? It overwrites the first one's copy, and it says, this is the Glendale. It opens the book. It Tipexes out the first running dog's Glendale and writes its Glendale there. So now in the book, we have this Glendale is the Glendale that needs to live. It's the Glendale for the mission. Then on the next frame, the first copy of Running Dog happens, and it goes, okay, what's the Glendale again? It opens its book, it looks for the Glendale, and it finds this one. So essentially what happens is we spawn 2 Glendales, but one of them is the fake Glendale that the first copy of the mission spawns, and the other one is the real Glendale. This one is the real Glendale. The other one is just a random Glendale that exists in the world now, and the mission doesn't care about it because it's not in the mission's book. It hasn't written it down. It doesn't remember this Glendale anymore. So this one is irrelevant. This is the one I actually need to get into. And obviously this one back here is just another Glendale that some other mission made that we also don't care about. Right? This one isn't real. This one isn't real. This is the one that we want. And figuring out, when you dupe missions like this, figuring out which one is the vehicle that you need, which one is the real one, is often quite difficult. Here it's simple. It's the one that's on the top all the time. The one that's on the top is the real one. So I jump on top of this Glendale and I get into this one and we drive. If I get into this Glendale here, nothing happens. It still just says, get into Big Smoke's car, and nothing happens at all. It's only this one that's going to work. So I have to get into this one. And then this is where something really scary happens. Unfortunately, sometimes what can happen is the Glendale can sit neatly on top of it. Sometimes it could fall over to the left, the right, and sometimes it could fall over to the left. If it falls over to the left, we get jammed between this wall here and this Glendale. We get jammed between them. What I should have done if I was playing safe is I should have just pushed this Glendale out of the way. Like, if I just nudge this Glendale out of the way, this one will just flop back down onto its wheels and it'll be fine. But I don't. I just YOLO it and just get into this one. This is, like, super risky, and you'll see why. Because I get into this one, I start driving forwards, and then we fall over, and it's like, uh-oh. And that could have so easily been the end of the run there. Because when a vehicle is upside down, there's, like, a hidden timer that's, like, 5 seconds or something, which is 5,000 milliseconds. There's a timer that counts down, like, every millisecond. And if it hits 0... the vehicle catches on fire. No matter what happens, the vehicle catches on fire and then will kablooey, right, blow up. So I only have a few seconds of being upside down here before the vehicle will catch fire, and then I fail the mission, which is really bad. So I have to, when it flips here, we are so lucky that I can flip it back over. It must be just in time. It's like this point here. At this point, I am not upside down. I am more the right way up than I am upside down. Do you see? Like, because I'm not, if we're looking side on like this, if I'm leaned like a tiny bit this way and the wheels are here, if I'm leaning like a tiny bit this way, I'm counted as upside down. But if I'm leaning like a tiny bit this way instead, which is this way, then I'm not upside down and the timer doesn't count down, right? Yeah. So at this point here, I am 51% not upside down. Yeah, exactly. Here is probably also fine. I got lucky that this isn't more upside down than it isn't. Now I am. At this point, I'm more upside down than not. So I have like 5 seconds or whatever it is to get all the way to like here. I don't think it's 5 seconds. It might be like 3. I can't remember how long it is, but it's fucking short. So I was really lucky. What happened here is this fence here. This wall, sorry, I keep calling it a fence. This wall here sort of like pokes the back of the car and I roll over the top of that instead of like rolling normally, and it lets me roll over. Yeah, this is like super lucky, which is which is it was very scary moment there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, just cool out, homie. Just chill.
Okay,
Your cousin coming.
so we got away with that one. On we go.
Yeah. Me and you go
So
west
here's how the dupe and fail works.
Ah, smoke you.
So,
Shit.
Don't be prejudiced.
do you remember earlier when I started the mission? When I started the mission, the first copy failed because I unloaded the big smoke and car that the mission is looking for. The same thing happens here.
Yeah, man, just
I'm on
cool
2
out.
copies
I
of
know
the
what
mission
it
right
is.
now.
Everybody is
And what happens when I drive into this thing here? It says mission passed. What the fuck is that about? Why do I pass the mission, right?
in my presence, Carl.
What happens when I
Everybody
drive
is
into this is that 1 copy of Running Dog spawns the enemy. It's like, oh hey, there's this guy, the running dog. Right, can I draw a dog? Oh god, why have I set myself up with this? A dog's like this, and then ears, and then like this, and then has a little tail, and then it has 4 legs. Sure. There you go, that's a dog. The first copy creates the running dog, right? And then it's like, okay, this dog needs to live. And then the second copy makes a dog. And then it's like, okay, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's facing the other way. It's facing the other way. It's a camel. Whatever, don't worry about it. The second copy makes a dog. And then it says, okay, this dog needs to live. Then the first copy is like, hey, sorry. And the second copy unloads this dog for some reason. Again, this seems really inconsistent and random because it works like differently. But it works differently. It just depends how the programmer programmed the mission back in 2002, 3, 4, right? All of these missions are all really inconsistent with how this works. So if I say one thing that like contradicts something from earlier, it's because it just works differently. But the first running dog gets unloaded, and then this running dog is like, hey, the enemy is dead. Passed mission. Well done, you did it. You passed the mission. Yay, well done. The second copy starts the cutscene, and then I sit here and I watch the cutscene for a bit. But as soon as this cutscene's over, I get Big Smoke died, right? Because this copy of Running Dog passes, and when it passed, it unloads all of the things in the mission. And one of those things that it unloads is... This is Big Smoke, he's fat. It unloads Big Smoke. It unloads Big Smoke. And then the second copy is like, hey, my Big Smoke doesn't exist anymore. Mission failed, right? I don't know why the second copy doesn't pass because it sees that its running dog doesn't exist anymore. I don't know why it happens in this order. Maybe it's just the way it's ordered or whatever, but that's what's happening, right? So it says Big Smoke died because Big Smoke doesn't exist anymore. So this is what I call a dupe and fail. One copy fails, the other copy succeeds, and they make it so that it happens instantly. Like, I never killed the guy. I just got to the bit in the mission where it spawns the guy. But because I get to the part of the mission where it spawns the guy, one copy instantly passes, and the other copy fails. And this is debatably faster than just doing the mission normally, right? I also, this cutscene plays, and I sit in this cutscene because this cutscene is delaying the mission from failing, and I want to hold the phone call. So, because I'm on 2 copies of the mission right now, right, we're doing the thing where one copy is started, yeah, and then when they end, they're going to set on mission to 0. But if they both end at the same time, then I don't get to choose when this on mission 0 happens, right? So I need the missions to end at a different time. So what I do is rather than just like skip this cutscene immediately and like pass and fail the mission at the same time, I pass one copy of the mission. Do I go on mission 0? Here we go. Look, see, look, my minimap. I go on mission 0, look. So here we're on mission 1. Oh, on mission 0 still. Where is it? Oh, is it when it comes back? Yeah, here you go. Look, there you go. So here I'm on mission 1. One copy of the mission passes, and then I go on mission 0, and the other copy of the mission continues. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting 20 seconds. I'm waiting 20 seconds from when I pass that mission until this cutscene ends. We're just waiting. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want the phone call to ring. I need the phone call to ring so that I can hold it, so that then I'm doing 2 things at the same time. Then we have running dog and the phone call, right? And this one ends, and then it fucks up the second one. Yeah, like that. Do you see the phone call rang there? There you go. So I have to wait 20 seconds here for the phone call to ring, and then I can hold this phone call, and then we get to keep the on mission 0 phone call like this. So that's how I do running dog, dupe, and fail. I think it's probably actually faster to just do the fucking mission normally. And just hold the on mission 0 phone call at the end. But this is a fun, cool strat, and I like doing it. But yeah, if you want to actually improve this run, maybe just don't bother doing this and just do the mission normally. This was a strat that was found a long time ago, and people thought it was faster, but it turned out to not be. Anyway, we're on to the next mission. This is wrong side of the tracks, labeled wrong side of the dog face in my splits for 2013 memes. Don't worry about it. Here, I like this one. This is the phone call again. I let go of the phone call. I'm holding it. Look, I'm holding it, and I let go of the phone call as soon as I get into this. This mission. But now we have the situation where as soon as this mission starts, there's voice lines playing. So then we get the situation where the big smoke voice line gets mixed with the phone call, and the Unity station is like, it plays like all the phone call lines, and it plays Unity station sound effect for all of them.
Where to, Smoke?
You. It was fun. So anyway, yeah, I'm on mission 0 again because of course I am. And now we do the mission. This is a pretty normal, no major glitches mission. All I have to do is make sure I hold the phone call at the end. So yeah, the strat here is to there's a faster strat where you can drive this way, go up this ramp, and then land on top of the train and shoot people from there. It's called the YOLO jump. I'm really bad at it, so I do ancient 2014 strats. 2013? No, 2013 strats. I do ancient 2013 strats, and I drive up here instead, and I park here, and I wait for the train. As soon as I see the train poke out from this bit of my screen here, that's when I start accelerating. So that's the visual cue. Like now, see, as soon as I see it, I go. I land on this bit of the train. We kill these guys from on top of the train. I fuck up a little bit, but I do kill them. Like that, and that's how you do this mission quickly. We unfortunately have a problem here, and it's this. I have 1 wanted star. This is a bit of a flaw with this route, is that I need to hold a phone call here, but you can't receive phone calls when you have a wanted star. They just don't come in. Like, it's as if you're on mission 1. Like, the phone call just won't ring when you have a wanted star here. Sorry. So what I have to do is I have to lose this wanted star. And you might think, okay, go to the pay and spray. The pay and spray is like right here in the distance, right? Just go use the pay and spray. But I can't because I don't have any fucking money. I have negative 7,274 money. So I cannot use the pay and spray. It will say, like, you don't have enough money for this or whatever. So what I have to do instead is I have to drive over here and use this bribe star. Which is really annoying because I'm driving the wrong way from Big Smoke's house. And it's kind of slow. But, yeah, it's pretty annoying. But anyway, I don't have a wanted star anymore. As soon as I'm on foot, the phone call starts ringing again. I start holding it. As soon as before the cutscene ends, I start holding the phone call, and then we have the phone call again. And that's it. We've carried on mission 0 through 9s and AKs all the way to now. And now is the point where we are done with unlocking just business. And now we scroll 1 more split. And now we are in the execute payload section of the run. So now we're at the point where it's time to actually break the game. I have everything set up perfectly that I need in order to do this. So what we're going to do is the plan, the thing that was discovered that led to all of this happening speedrun-wise, is that Theodorus discovered that if you combine the mission Big Smoke at the very end of the mission, when you drive into the when you drive into the marker at the end of the mission, ignore all this a second, don't worry about it. When you drive into the marker at the end of the mission, where is it? Here. When you drive into the marker, what happens is as soon as you hit this marker, the game waits for 1 second, and then it progresses to the next part of the cutscene, and then, you know, Ryder rides around in a circle and talks to you in the final cutscene, right? Like I can find this like at the beginning of the run. Where is it? Here. So you drive in. Oh well, I've got to do other stuff first. So you drive in, and there's 1 second here. Do you see it? You just stand there for 1 second and nothing happens. See, if we look at the in-game timer, it goes 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the cutscene happens. It's like waiting for a second. Here. During this wait, we are on like chapter 12, page 11 or whatever of the Big Smoke book, right? We are like on one page, and every frame the game is reading that page, and the page is telling it to wait 1 second and then read the next page, right? So we're waiting for this 1 second to pass, and until that point we keep reading from that page. But during this second, if let's just say the game is reading from like, what's an easy thing to say? Let's just say the game is reading from like page 6 of the Big Smoke book, right? In this second, Theodorus discovered that, where's my live split? Theodorus discovered that if you start Just Business when Big Smoke is in this 1 second wait, like if you're on page 6 of Big Smoke and you start Just Business, so again with the books, I know we love the books. You're on page 6 of Big Smoke. You replace it with Just Business. It just so happens that page 6 of Big Smoke lines up with the pointer of where Big Smoke is in memory in Just Business. In Big Smoke. And it will execute that as code. He found that these two things overlap. And then if you do that, basically like the game has like, how do I explain this? The game has like a big list of like every single ped in the game. Like here's CJ, here's like ped 01. Here's like what is it, like I forget the number on his back, number 24. Here's Sweet, right? And here's Big Smoke. It has like, what the fuck, that's not an S. It has like a massive list of all of the peds in the entire game. And whenever you unload a ped, like if I finish the mission and we unload Sweet and we unload Big Smoke, it doesn't delete those slots immediately, and it keeps going and it progresses down here. So then we'll make ped like 02, and then we'll make like, you know, blah, 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 blah. And this list is like absolutely fucking massive, by the way. This list is huge. And what happens is the game will just like iterate down the list until it gets to the end of this list. And when it gets to the bottom, it will then loop back up to the top and start looking for like empty slots and start writing peds into there instead. But this list is absolutely massive, and the game has to keep track of where people are in it, because like, say you're doing, let me write this again. Say you're doing the, what the fuck is that? Big Smoke. say you start the mission wrong side of the tracks, for example. The game needs to say, okay, Big Smoke and CJ will spawn in the Glendale, and when they hit this cutscene, CJ and Big Smoke will stand there and talk to each other. And in order for the game to do that, it needs to remember where everyone is in this list. So everybody in this list has like an address associated with it. So like CJ is in slot 1, Sweet is in slot 2, Big Smoke is in slot 3, and it will go down this like huge list like this. And again, this is hexadecimal and byte locations. These numbers are actually like, 6 digits long or whatever. But it'll keep like this big list. So instead of it saying when you get to the cutscene, the game doesn't say, okay, make Big Smoke, say this voice line or whatever. It says, okay, make ped number 3 say this voice line. And it just remembers that ped 3 is Smoke. So because of this, the mission book, the mission book, when it starts, when you start wrong side of the tracks, it has to say like, okay, Big Smoke is ped 20,004, CJ is ped 16,000, and it will remember these, and it will be like, okay, when we get to that cutscene, I need to make ped 16 do this, and ped 24,004 do this, right? That's how it remembers it. So that's why the missions are remembering where all of the peds are in the ped pool, and you get like, it's called the ped pool, and you get like this big massive list of it, and the game will remember it. Now, just like with Go to 0, you can make the game do stupid things if you make it read numbers as instructions. So here it's like, it's running like some numbers that Pimping stores as code instead of remembering it as numbers. So if you want to remember our big list here of peds, so we have CJ, Sweet, Big Smoke. They're not always loaded, by the way. It's only like what you need for the mission and stuff. And you remember our big list, and they all have numbers associated with it, right? 2, 3. Well, what if, instead of making the game read these numbers as numbers, what if we made them read the numbers as instructions instead? Then we could do, like, theoretically, we could do whatever we wanted, right? To some extent. Like, if we could control where in the ped pool we put a ped, and then if we could execute the ped's address as an instruction, we can decide what instructions to do, right? In reality, it's not that simple because you can't just arbitrarily do that stuff. But that's the crutch of what we're doing here, is we're executing Big Smoke's address in the ped pool as an instruction of like memory to execute, right? So the plan is what Theodorus discovered is that, if you start Big Smoke and you get to this cutscene, if you start Big Smoke and you get to this cutscene, during this 1 second here, if you then start Just Business, which I do here, look, during that second, if you start Just Business, then the Big Smoke book, which has the location of where Big Smoke, the character, is spawned, this is going to get confusing, but when you start the mission Big Smoke, it spawns a character of Big Smoke, right? The very first thing this mission does is it spawns a Big Smoke ped. Here he is, right here. Yeah? And the game has to go, okay, I need a Big Smoke ped. Okay, put him in the ped pool. Okay, we're going to put him in this slot. Okay, remember this number, right? If you start Just Business at the same time, during this 1 second wait, you trick the game into running what it remembers as where Big Smoke is in the ped pool. It runs it as a go-to instruction instead. So I drive into this marker, 1 second, within 1 second I start Just Business. what happens now is we execute. You see, it's as soon as this camera shake starts. That's me executing code. I have executed. Big Smoke has an address. He has an address. It's like 26,000 or some shit. And I trick the game into jumping to 26,000 in mission script instead of 26,000 in the ped pool. So we're tricking the game into sort of arbitrarily jumping in script. We are arbitrarily jumping in script. That's the name of the category, AJS. Arbitrary jump in script. That's the address, right? That's the name of the category, sorry. So because of this, because we have found a way, or Theodorus and Ultra Girl and others who helped, have found a way to arbitrarily jump in the script, we could basically do whatever the fuck we want, right? Now, you may be asking, okay, Josh, that's cool. You can arbitrarily jump to wherever the fuck you want. Why do you not just start end of the line right now? Like, why do we have to do all of this, like, fucking payload setup and all this other shit? If you can arbitrarily jump in script using Big Smoke's address in the ped pool, why don't you just use Big Smoke's address in the ped pool to jump to end of the line? We can't do this for a few reasons. First of all, it would instantly crash the game because we just started Just Business and then start end of the line immediately and it would crash. But second of all, the ped pool isn't that big. Like, the mission script is like this big, right? And it has the memory addresses from like 0 to like, I don't know, like 600,000 or something, right? The mission script is fucking huge. Like, the mission script is a massive book, whereas the ped pool is like tiny. The ped pool only goes from like 0 to like 24,000 or something, right? Something like that. The ped pool isn't that big. You can't. So that means we effectively can only jump to code. We can only jump to scripts within the first 24,000 bytes of mission script memory. We can't, like, end of the line free is like down here. Like, we can't get there. We don't have enough, like, memory space within the ped pool to, like, reach all the way down here. What we can jump to up here in the beginning of the mission script, what we can jump to is the gambling variables, the numbers that the game has written down for gambling. That's what we can reach. We can reach there. And if you remember from before, I just put a bunch of numbers. I just left a bunch of numbers in the gambling script memory. Do you remember? I wrote down a bunch of absolutely astronomically large numbers in the book, in the part of the mission script book where it's remembering all of the gambling numbers, right? So what we could do is by using this Big Smoke jump, we can jump to all of these numbers that I've just written into the game's memory here. So we use the insignificant ped pool size to jump to where all of these numbers are stored. Like all of these numbers are like right at the top of like the mission script, and we could reach it with the ped pool. This is what Theodorus also had to work on for ages. Theodorus knew that we could reach like the top of the mission script for a while. Or not a while. He knew that by using this exploit, we could reach the top of the mission script. And he looked through the top of the mission script for things that we could control. Like if you could find stuff in there that you can easily control, then we can write code, essentially. Like we are now writing whatever fucking code we want using some random variable that's at the top of the mission script, right? So he found that gambling works for this, and you can using Wheel of Fortune bets. These bets don't ever get unloaded, even when you leave the table. As soon as I leave the table, the game still remembers what I bet in these slots. So I can bet a bunch of game instructions in these slots, and then much later we can, do the trick to jump to where Big Smoke is in memory to execute whatever code we want. And if you remember, the code that we wanted to execute, for you to show right here, the code we wanted to execute was, well, okay, we can't jump that precisely because we don't control the ped pool that well. So what we jump to is we jump, say here is like the betting memory, right? We jump a little bit before this point, but a little bit before that point is just a bunch of stuff that's zeros. Like we haven't done blackjack. We haven't done like the casino, the arm pulley game. We haven't done roulette. We haven't done all that stuff. All of that stuff just says 0. And if you remember way earlier in this video, or yesterday for live stream viewers, if you just execute a bunch of zeros, the game just does nothing. The game's like, oh, that means 2 zeros. That means no operation. Next line. Read the next line, right? It could do all of that stuff. Now, if you remember way earlier when I went to pool, I set a certain value in pool. I set that like 300 00. And that's because we also can't control whether we jump to the odd or the even byte. And as I said before, if you can't jump to the odd or the even byte, if you can't control it, then you don't know where. Like this is useless if I set up all of these fucking numbers, right? And say like this is just for shorthand. This is 34, this is 32, this is 11 or whatever. If I jump to the even number, then we'll read it 5 4 3 2 1 1 and it will execute it correctly. But if we jump to the odd number instead, then it's going to execute it wrong. It's instead going to execute it. It's going to read from here and it's going to execute 43 21 1 and then whatever's left, right? And then we're executing a completely different set of instructions that doesn't work. So that's why we have to set up pool, as I explained earlier, is so that we then set our alignment correctly. Because of the way this works, if we land on an even byte, we'll do 0 0. Then we'll do 3 0 0 because that's a 3 byte instruction, and it will execute this, and then it will go back to being even. Because if you do that, we'll line back to even bytes here. It'll do these 3 in one go, then these 3 in one go, then these in one go, right? But if we jump, wait, hold on. If we jump to an odd byte by pure chance, if we jump to here, it will read 0 3. And 0 3 is a 4 byte instruction instead. So it will go 0 3 0 0, and then we align correctly to an even bit. So that's how that works again. Anyway, so that we use that to align the bits correctly. And that's where in memory we jump to. We jump to like above our actual payload, but there's just a bunch of zeros that we blast through until we get to our pool bets. And our pool bet was 300 in Thingamajig, right? And then there's like a bunch of zeros. And then we have like our gambling bets, which was like 54, 12, 17, or whatever I wrote, right? Here is the gambling payload. But we have to survive all of these zeros before we can get to the gambling payload. And pool just so happens to be at the top in the middle there that we can then we get through, and we can align ourselves using the pool bet. Yeah, so the 30 instruction, or the 30 or whatever, that's the camera shake instruction. That's why my camera shakes like fucking bonkers when I do this. That's why my camera is going absolutely berserk. Is because we landed on an odd byte, so then it read the instruction as 0300, and 0300 is shake the camera for 30 seconds for whatever reason. That's just how it is. Don't worry about it. So that's why my camera is going fucking berserk. You can do this glitch and have no camera shake here if you get lucky and you get on the even byte and go through it. So that's why the camera shakes half the time when you do this. So that's all right. So now we've got to the point where like, okay, we get to the 1 second wait in Big Smoke. There's a problem, right? We need to, in order to execute, all of this is awesome and cool and all that, right? But we have a problem. How the ever-living fuck are you supposed to start Just Business now? You have 1 second where you don't even have control of CJ. You're just stood in Grove Street. You have 1 second to start Just Business. If you don't start Just Business within this 1 second gap, the trick isn't going to work. It's literally right now. That's the window. This 1 second here, that's the window of time you have to start Just Business. How the ever-living fuck do you do that? And the next problem is, okay, Josh, you're playing the game, and there's a big fucking... Whoa, shit, I didn't mean to do that. There's a big fucking list of PEDs that the game keeps, and then it, like, overwrites some, and then writes them in other bits, and then puts others in other bits, and it keeps their memory and all that stuff. How the ever-living fuck do you put Big Smoke into exactly the bit that you want that just so happens to line up with all of the gambling memory, including pool, and then all of the like other memory that you set up? How do you make it so you know where Big Smoke is in the ped pool? Like, you've been playing the game for like 30 minutes at this point. Like, there's no way you've tracked every single ped that's loaded and unloaded and where it is, right? That's impossible. These are the two problems that we have to solve, and these are the two problems that we are going to solve now. So the reason I'm explaining all of this is because from this point, once we get to this point, we are now solving these problems. This is the setup. The whole rest of this run is me solving these two problems. So, first problem, how do we get Big Smoke into exactly the correct position in the ped pool? We have a few solutions for this, but the solution we go with now that's the fastest is we go all the way over here, and then remember this fire truck that I got? It's time for the fire truck. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the fire truck and we're going to drive into this corner here. Now, and we're going to look down. Now, we drive into this corner here and look down. It's a bit hard to see, but it's like here. We're driving into this corner and then looking downwards. The reason we're doing that is because there are no peds that spawn nearby when we're in this corner, and it's also close to Grove Street. And we need to be able to be close to Big Smoke. So we have to find somewhere close to the Big Smoke marker that peds are not going to spawn. So we drive into this corner here, and we look straight down. And in this configuration, the game won't spawn peds. There's no, like, you know, it's not going to spawn like a random ped that just walks past me on some sidewalk or something. Like, that's not going to happen. We're completely alone over here. So now we've made it so that the game isn't going to spawn random peds, and it's not going to, like, just add random people to our ped pool and, like, fuck it up or anything. That's the first step. Like, okay, very cool, Josh. But we still have, like, this big arbitrarily filled ped pool, right? With, like, you know, CJ is here. That's wrong. That's JC. And lots of other stuff. We still have, like, this big randomly filled ped pool. Sure, you could stop the game adding peds to it, but how do you control it? What we do is we drive over here, and then I wait like 10 seconds for reasons. And then watch for it, wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, did you see it? I played a replay. This is the other use for a replay in the run. Like this. It just so happens that if you have a bit, you have a ped pool, right? Blah, blah, blah. Lots of things in it. When you play a replay, the game deletes the ped pool. It fully empties the ped pool. It actually goes through and chucks out every single thing in the ped pool, and it makes a brand new ped pool, and then it adds the peds from the replay to the ped pool. So this replay that I'm playing, if I, like, actually catch the frame where it happens... wait, we're going back. Wait. Oh, going back is so slow. Wait. There. If we go back and we find the replay that I have is CJ stood in Grove Street, right? His animation's broken, but don't worry about it. As CJ stood in Grove Street, and there's maybe, like, a police officer over here or something. Or, like, they might have all got unloaded. The Rider and Sweet and that lot don't exist. Remember, this is the replay I made at the end of the first Big Smoke I did. So what happens is we play the replay. So we have this big ped pool with people in it. The game deletes the fucking ped pool. It creates a brand new ped pool, and it's like, okay, we need a in this replay. There's a CJ, there's a police officer, and that's about it. And it makes this ped pool, puts these people in it, shows you the replay, and then when it's done with the replay, it deletes the ped pool again, right? And then it starts with a brand new ped pool, and then it'll put CJ. Oh, that's JC again. It will put CJ backwards in it. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It puts CJ in it. It puts all the peds that are around you in it, right? And then we start from a brand new ped pool. So this is how we control the ped pool. Like, okay, we can empty the ped pool now. If we just play a replay, it wipes the ped pool. We can start clean. So we don't need to track the ped pool throughout the entire game or anything stupid like that. We can do this, right? Now we're in the situation where, okay, we have a nice empty ped pool. And if we started Big Smoke right now, Big Smoke would be like right at the start of it, right? And then if we did the trick, we'd jump to like, I don't know, like slot 3 or something, because Big Smoke would be like the 3rd ped or whatever, right? It's probably more like 7 or something, right? Like that. Anyway, we could jump to number 3. That's all well and good, but we don't want to go to 3 in the mission script. That's like right at the start of the game. We don't want to do that. We want to go to where the gambling variables are. The gambling variables are like at like fucking 10,000 or something, right? I don't know the exact number of where they are, but they're at like 10,000. So we have a nice big empty ped pool. Oh, why am I doing my? Why is wrong with me? There we go. We have a nice big empty ped pool. With what am I doing? We have a nice empty ped pool that we could play the replay and we completely empty the ped pool. And if we start the Big Smoke mission, we'll add Big Smoke to it right wherever we're at in the ped pool. How do we make it so Big Smoke is in the correct position in the ped pool to execute the gambling variables? This is where Fire Truck comes in at last. What you do is you start Fire Truck 60 times. 60. That's what I do here. Well, listen to me count. Ready? This is old me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go through firefighter, and I start a firefighter. So I start firefighter, and now I'm looking at the minimap. I start firefighter. Oops, sorry, that's a bit fast. I start firefighter, and I wait until I see a triangle spawn. And what this little triangle is somewhere there's a car that spawns. There's a car that spawns that's on fire, right? And the car has people in it. I don't remember how many people. It might be like 1 or 2 or something, but it has people in it, right? What we're doing every time we start firefighter is we're spawning a consistent number of people. Is it just 1? Every time you start firefighter, you spawn 1 ped. So every time I start firefighter, we add like a ped to the thing and then delete it. But remember, when you forget, it's 2 because of go to 0. Oh right, there's 2 firefighters running, so there's 2 peds. Okay, so every time we start firefighter, we spawn 2 peds into the ped pool, and then we cancel firefighter, and the game's like, oh, I don't need these peds anymore, but it leaves them there, and then we spawn 2 more peds, and we move down the ped pool. And this is how we increment down the ped pool. This is why we don't use pimping, because it would have had to have been 120. Right, so we would have had to have started pimping 120 times. Yeah, right? Because pimping only spawns 1 girl. It doesn't dupe. Whereas this dupes. So we want to increment down the ped pool 120 times, which correlates to 60 firefighter starts. If we do that, we will vaguely, you gotta remember, this isn't super precise because there's also just random peds in Grove Street and stuff. But we will vaguely be in the area where the gambling variables are. There's like a range of, in the mission script, there's like a bunch of numbers or whatever. And there's like a range of numbers that's just a bunch of zeros, and then our payload that we've programmed in. As long as we land anywhere in this region of memory, like as long as we hit a series of zeros, again, it doesn't matter if we're odd or even, we could be here, or we could be here, right? Or we could be like here, or we could be here. As long as, well, not before pool, but we'd have to be before pool. As long as we land in this region of memory, somewhere vaguely in there where there's just a fuckload of zeros, and then we run into pool, pool fixes our alignment, and then we run down a little bit more, and then we hit our payload. As long as we land somewhere in the series of memory, the trick is going to work. You can't be like ultra precise with the ped pool filling, because ultimately there's going to be like some random people stood in Grove Street that fuck you up if you try to do that. So yeah, you start Firefighter exactly 60 times, like this. I'll just skip forwards until I've done it. You start Firefighter exactly 60 times, and now we have to be very careful. Now we have to be very careful that I don't add any new peds to the ped pool, because if I do, it's gonna like fuck this up. So I have to very carefully, again, I'm looking downwards, and I have to be very careful. These peds that are here, you can hear them to my right. Those peds that are there were there while I was doing Firefighter and played the replay and stuff. They didn't despawn, but I haven't spawned any new peds because I'm staring downwards, and we can start Big Smoke here. This is why we have to do this trick close to Big Smoke, like the mission. We can't like drive into like a nice secluded corner where no one's going to spawn, then do it, then drive back over here, because in the drive back over here, we're going to inevitably spawn peds. We can't like, even if you look down the whole time, it's still going to spawn peds randomly. So you have to find a nice secluded spot near to the mission marker that you can do this, and then just try your best to get into the mission marker without spawning any more peds. So that's what my fill ped pool split in this split list is. That's what that is. We're using Firefighter we're using a replay and a Firefighter to do this exact thing. Why do you stand in that exact position instead of inside the marker? What do you mean? Like, why do I not park the fire truck on top of the marker? Because if I did that and look down, then a ped can walk past and then unload, or a ped can like walk into, like spawn in or whatever. We need to be like in a place where peds aren't going to keep spawning. When I'm in this corner, we're far enough away from the road that it's not going to spawn any new peds, but the ones that were on the pavement will stay there, right? If I just sit on top of the Big Smoke marker, then we're close enough to the road that it can spawn new peds that just walk around in a circle, right? So you need to like get far enough away that it won't spawn any new ones, but not so far that they'll despawn. So anyway, so that's what we're doing here. We're filling the ped pool by starting Firefighter exactly 60 times. You could also do 59, you could also do 61. The range is big enough that you can get away with it, but 60 is in the middle, so it's better to just aim for that in case you have too many or too few peds, right? So you do all of that, and then you start the mission. Now, that solves the ped pool filling problem. But if you just start this mission, we're going to be on mission 1, and we won't be able to start Just Business at the same time, right? Because, you know, lots of other things. What I've also done during all of this, by the way, is I'm holding a phone call. You see my 4 button? Do you remember that phone call from the end of wrong side of the tracks that I'm holding here? This phone call? I'm still holding it. I have been holding it the entire time. I'm holding that button down all the way through this. I'm still holding it. I'm still holding it. I hold it all the way until exactly this moment, and then I let go of it to do the, like, CJ control state. Why am I fucking up my C's today? To do the CJ control state meme of, like, you know, 1, 2, 0, like, the phone call should set this, the mission should set this until it goes to here, and blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm doing that thing again to regain control of CJ. So I let go immediately right now. Then we're in this cutscene. And then we skip here. And this phone call, because I was in an interior when I answered this phone call breaks, is what I think is happening here. I'm not 100% certain. But anyway, we break this phone call. It gives me control over CJ back. And this cutscene right here this cutscene that plays, the end condition for this cutscene is CJ accelerates in a car. That's the end. That's the ending condition for this cutscene. What's supposed to happen is CJ gets in the car and then he accelerates away. The game is checking for if CJ accelerates in car, cutscene ends. That's what we're waiting for. Must be that. If you didn't wait in the cutscene, it would cycle through because yeah, it must be that. Yeah, it has to be. So as soon as I press like X, as soon as I press X on the PS2 controller, right, which is sprint or accelerate, as soon as I press X on a PS2 controller, the cutscene will progress. So I can't press X on a PS2 controller. So I can't sprint on foot and I can't accelerate in a car. Yeah, so otherwise the cutscene is over. The reason I've done all this is because I need to set up a complicated thing to regain control at the end of Big Smoke. So we've solved the first problem with the ped pool, right? Now we have to solve the second problem of how the fuck do you start Just Business in this 1 second right here? How do you start Just Business? Like, what the hell is, you know, how the hell do you start Just Business right here? You could be on mission 0 all you like. I could even use a phone call to regain control of CJ in this 1 second. That doesn't help me. The Just Business marker is like all the way down this road, like at Big Smoke's house, right? Like there's Just Business all the way down there. How the fuck do I get there in 1 second? It's impossible, right? So even if I used the phone call bullshit of regaining control, you wouldn't be able to do it. What we're going to do, the way we solve this problem, and this is one of those things I'm going to have to explain backwards again for it to make any sense. What we're going to do is we're going to use the gym phone call. Do you remember this gym phone call that you answer here? This gym phone call? Yeah? And it shows you the gym. Like, unfortunately, I don't have a visual aid for this, but there's a phone call where you answer the phone and Sweet says, if you don't respect your body, ain't nobody gonna respect you, right? He says that to you. And then CJ's like, wait, what? And yeah, Sweet basically tells you you need to go to the gym to work out. You then get a little cutscene that like shows you the gym. And it says like, and then you get like this text box. Oh, look, this text box right here. Here we go. It's actually on the screen. You get this little text box. If you want to increase your stamina or muscle, or if you blah, 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 check out the gyms around San Andreas, right? It's the gym tutorial cutscene is what you get. When that cutscene starts, it teleports CJ here so that it teleports CJ to exactly this spot so that you can see the gym. Because, again, the world is only loaded around CJ. It teleports you there. You then have... Is it 10 seconds? Or is it 15 seconds? I can't remember. I think it's... Wait, hang on, I can figure this out. We're at 45. It's 10 seconds. You have 10... This cutscene happens for 10 seconds. And then at the end of the 10 seconds, the phone call... Yeah, go to the dumbbell icon displayed on the radar and check out the gym. At the end of this 10 seconds, the phone call will teleport you back to where you were, right? So, yeah, I really wish I had a visual aid for this. It would have been smart to set up, because I can't really show it in this video. Let me think of like a way. Wait, hold on. I think I know where to find this. Where's my no major glitches, PB? Wait, hold up. Hold the fucking phone a minute. PB videos. OG no major glitches. Right here. Let me cycle. Wow, holy shit, this is ancient. What the fuck? Oh my god, my no major glitches PB is so fucking old. When do I answer the gym phone call? Also, it's really low quality. Oh, don't worry about it. It's probably like... Does anyone know where I answer this? Oh shit, where do I answer? Sorry, here, look, here. So, this is what the phone call's supposed to look like, right? Ring, ring. All right, I'm talking. So you get this phone call here, yeah? and it shows you, here's the gym. It teleports you here. Like, oops. I'm, funnily enough, I'm stood right next to Just Business. I'm almost doing the thing itself. In fact, oh my God, I'm actually, holy shit, this is exactly the same. I'm stood in the Just Business marker, or running dog marker, or whatever. Anyway, I'm stood here. I answer the phone call. The cutscene starts. When the cutscene starts, it remembers, like, okay, the cutscene just started. At the end of the cutscene, I need to teleport the player back. So as soon as this cutscene starts, it remembers, okay, CJ is stood at like 320.56 by 179.2, right? It remembers CJ is stood exactly there in the world. Then it teleports CJ. And if you look at my mini-map, which we can see, CJ is just stood outside the gym. He gets teleported here. We watch this cutscene for 10 seconds. And then it teleports you back to where you were stood a second ago. Wow, I actually, in No Major Glitches, I sort of do the same thing. That's really funny. It teleports you back to where you were stood. If you're fucking actually really careful, you can sort of see CJ land here. Do you see this? CJ is moving. He's like landing in this spot. That's funny. So you get teleported right back to where you were at the start of the cutscene. And in this instance, I was stood in the running dog marker because I'm doing a speed run and I want to go fast. Right? That's how that phone call is supposed to work. So what I could do is I can answer this phone call, and then as soon as I've answered it, in 10 seconds, I will be teleported back to where I was, right? So it gives me a 10-second window of time to do whatever I want, and then I'll get teleported back to where I answered the phone call. 10 seconds is a lot fucking longer than 1 second. And do you know what you could travel between in 10 seconds? You could travel between the gym and the final big smoke marker in exactly 10 seconds if you're exactly fast enough. This drive is really hard. And if you want to see me fail this drive, I have like 4 videos on my uncut channel where I have done the whole run and then I fuck up this drive for whatever reason. But you have exactly 10 seconds to drive an NRG from the gym all the way over to the big smoke marker and get into this 1 second wait. You have exactly 10 seconds to do it, and then you get and then the gym teleports you back to where I was. And I was stood right outside Big Smoke's house, which starts Just Business. Okay? You have exactly 10 seconds to do it. So that's how we turn this 1 second wait into a 10-second wait, is we use that phone call. Do you remember I said that phone call was like super important earlier? This is why. It's because you need to use it for this teleport. Now, we've solved some problems. Okay, Josh, you don't need to start Just Business within 1 second of standing in the big smoke marker now. That's all well and good, right? Now you need to end Big Smoke within 10 seconds of starting the gym cutscene. That's all well and good. But I don't know if you've noticed, Joshimuz, but you don't have control. Wow, that... What a click. Can we just hold up a second? Dude, I just clicked randomly in this video and landed exactly on the fucking cutscene. What a legend. Anyway, that's all well and good, Josh, but unless you've noticed, you don't have fucking control in this cutscene. Right? Like, you can't control CJ. And I know that you love to use phone calls to gain control of CJ when you shouldn't. Unfortunately, this is a fucking phone call. Like, you're already answering a phone call. You can't use a phone call to regain control of CJ because you're on the... This is a phone call. You can't use a phone call to regain control in a phone call. Doesn't make any sense. You only have one phone call. Yeah, I was going to tell you, there's no control here. Yeah, you have no control in this situation. How are you supposed to do that? And also, there's no fucking convenient NRG parked right next to you here. Like, you don't have time to go get the NRG and then drive it. You have 10 seconds. Where the fuck is this NRG coming from, right? How do you get that? Those are the next problems we have to solve. And this finally brings me to the point in the run where we're actually at. Is how do you solve the problem of regaining control in a phone call? And that's what we're going to do now. So, I've explained forwards. Now we come back to where we are in the run. I've just filled the ped pool by starting firefighter 60 times. And now I'm going to walk over to the big smoke marker. And I'm going to, yeah, carefully. And this spawns big smoke exactly in the ped pool we want him. But I do something else here. So this big smoke is now exactly in this ped pool where we need him to be. And now I regain control of CJ, right? With the phone call, funnily enough. And now I'm in a cutscene with control of CJ.
You know me. It's not cut. Keep the value in it. Keep it real.
And this cutscene doesn't end until I either skip it manually or I accelerate in a vehicle or sprint or whatever. This cutscene won't end until then, right? And what happens when a cutscene ends, chat? When a cutscene ends, it teleports you to where the next cutscene is, and then your CJ control state, I've done that wrong, gets set back to 1 or 2 or whatever I said was the one control. Yeah. You regain control at the end of the cutscene is what happens. You get teleported to the next bit, and you regain control of CJ. So right now, I have a non-phone call way of regaining control of CJ. It's this cutscene, right? There's a problem, though, is that this is the Big Smoke mission, and I need to have the end of the Big Smoke mission. I need, like, my friends on their bikes here. What the fuck is that? I need my friends on their bikes and there to be a big red marker here. It needs to be exactly that 1 second wait in Big Smoke, right? And we are not in that 1 second wait in Big Smoke. We are somewhere else. But we do have a control gain. We have a control gain lined up that we can use. So what we're going to do, we're going to chain a bunch of control gains that we shouldn't have. It starts with the phone call. We answer the phone call in this cutscene, which gives us control when we shouldn't have it. Now we're in a cutscene, which, when we end it, will give us control over CJ.
That's cool.
Right?
Nice.
So we're like chaining these things. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna drive all the way to Binko in this cutscene and enter the apparel menu. Now the way I'm gonna do this. Let me just skip forwards a bit. I'm going to drive all the way into Binko, and I'm going to get the apparel menu inside of Binko like this. And as soon as I get this apparel menu, when you're in the apparel menu like this is the menu where, like, CJ's changing clothes and stuff, right? What happens when you exit this menu? Right? You don't have control of CJ when you're in this apparel menu. What happens when the apparel menu ends? CJ does the door opening animation. He walks forwards, and then you regain control of CJ. Yeah, you get control of CJ again. So now we have another thing that could regain us control of CJ. We have the apparel menu. That's not how you spell apparel, but whatever, roll with it. We have the apparel menu. We've changed the phone call into this cutscene, and then in the cutscene we get the apparel menu. And then I skip the cutscene. You see, this is the start of the game. And now I have control of CJ again. So I've changed the cutscene into the apparel menu. So now I have control of CJ while I'm on an apparel menu. So we've got a phone call, cutscene, apparel menu, like that, right? The way that I do this, obviously I skip forwards a bit. The way I do this is I'm very carefully moving here. So I have to be very careful. I can't press X on a PS2 controller because that will skip the cutscene. So I can't accelerate and I can't sprint. So I have to go from here, and the cutscene is fixed in place. I have to go from here into Binko, which is like this building here. Can you see this in the distance? There's like a building way over there, and there's a little. I'll make this. There's a little yellow marker here, way in the distance, that if you walk into, it will put you inside the Binko shop, and then from inside the Binko shop, you can walk into the apparel menu, right? So there's a little tiny yellow marker here, right, that I need to get to. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the car around while on foot here. So I just push the car really slowly. Again, I can't accelerate. I can't just get in this car and drive forwards and drive over there. Because if I do that, I'll skip the fucking cutscene. Because the cutscene ends when I accelerate in a car, right? So I have to turn Ryder's car around really painfully slowly. The phone's ringing because I'm on mission 0. And then I have to get in the car, and then I have to drive the car in reverse all the way to Binko. Yeah, there is a way you can, on foot, go to Binko. Other runners will, like, chainsaw slide their way to Binko and use the sound of the phone call ringing to time where they are and stuff. I haven't learned that setup. I've only learned this setup, and this setup is good enough for me, and I can do it consistently, so I don't care. It's good enough for me. So I'm gonna reverse real slowly, and what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for. How do I zoom this in? I really do need to zoom this. I'll do this, and then let me close this a second. Oh no, that's sure. Whatever, that works. We'll take this, we'll crop that, and then we can zoom in like this. Okay, here we go. Whoop. Right, okay, so a bit bigger, more. Okay, here is the Binko, right? It's like there's the Binko. I think, is that where the Binko is? I think the Binko's like behind this tree. Yeah, it's like here, right? There we go. Okay, this is obviously fucking huge, and you can't see me anymore, but don't worry about it for a minute. Okay, so let me get my drawing doc. Okay, right, so I need to reverse all the way up to here, and I'm waiting for this bush here. I'm waiting for the car to get over the top of this bush, and then I'm going to turn left here like this, and then I'm going to bonk on a wall here. And as soon as that happens, I'm then going to get out of the car. And I get out of the car, and then I wait for the phone call to ring. As soon as the phone call rings, I know that I'm not in the vehicle anymore. Because again, if I press W in a vehicle, the cutscene's going to skip. So I want to be very careful not to press W when I'm in the car. So I get out of the car, and then from here, CJ is stood like here, right? If I press W, again, CJ will walk relative to the camera. So CJ is going to walk like pretty much straight west here. So because of that, what's going to happen is CJ is going to walk west. He's going to bonk into this wall here, but the wall is like angled this way. So CJ is going to bonk into this wall, and then he's going to scrape along the wall until he hits the yellow marker, and then he's going to go inside the interior. That's the play. That's what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to hold W. It's a shame you can't see my inputs in the zoomed in thing. In fact, I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm going to hold W so you can see that now. Like this. And I'll eventually just magically, the world unloads, and that's CJ going inside the Binko interior. So now we're in the Binko interior. The camera still hasn't changed. The camera, we're still in Grove Street, look. This door here, this is Ryder's house right here. It's just doors aren't unloaded in interiors for reasons. But now we're in the interior world. So CJ is like way up in the sky somewhere inside the Binko shop. And now what I have to do is, if we listen to what I'm saying, I have like a series of movements I've memorized to get inside the apparel menu. So listen. 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 4 elephant, 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 1 elephant, 2 elephant. So what I'm doing is I'm holding down D for 4 seconds. 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 4 elephant. And then CJ is walking like to the right in the shop and bonks on a wall. 1 elephant. And then I hold S, and he walks a different way, and then bonks on a different wall. 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 1 elephant. And then I go back to walking the original way, and then he just walks, and that's how he walks into the apparel menu, and that's how we get in there. It's obviously I don't really have a very good visual aid for this. I'd have to like open up the game, and I haven't really prepared for that, but I'd have a save and stuff. But basically, yeah, I'm doing a, say like we're in the Binko shop like this, right? I'm going this way and hitting a wall, and then I'm going this way and then hitting a wall, and the entrance to the apparel menu is here, and then I'm going this way. I'm going like that, right? We're going right and then forwards and then right. This doesn't make sense because I'm actually going backwards. I'm holding S, but that's essentially what is happening, right? It's probably a bit more complicated than this because the Binko is probably at like an angle like this, and we're stood here, and there's a wall here and a wall here, right? So it's probably a little bit more complicated than that, but for whatever reason, I haven't actually looked at why these inputs work, but these inputs work. I'm just doing them because I was told to do it, right? So I'm blindly walking into the apparel menu here. Once I get the apparel menu, wait for it. Oh, wait for it. There, once I get the apparel menu, then I left click, which skips the cutscene. Left click is always skips cutscenes in San Andreas, which is a thing I only learned recently. But you left click, and left click doesn't affect the apparel menu at all, but it skips the cutscene. So we've done that thing. We've done that thing I said where I had a phone call, and then I used that to gain control in the cutscene, and then I used that to gain control in the apparel menu. Right? We've like daisy chained these input gainings. So then I can progress the mission, but now we have a problem. Do you see what the problem is, chat? Can you see the problem? You can't see the problem because it's invisible. The world is invisible. I'm in the interior world. This is what it looks like. So because I went into the Binko, like the game remembers like what interior you're in. You're either in like the overworld, which is like in interior equals 0 is the overworld. Let's say like 5 is the Binko world, right? When I walk into that yellow marker, that's over here, the game teleports me inside the Binko, and then it sets my interior to 5, which is why the world disappears like this. But when you skip this cutscene, the cutscene doesn't set you back to 0. It has no reason to do it. So skipping this cutscene now I'm just in the wrong interior world. I'm like, the Binko is loaded and is being rendered, but I'm not in the Binko anymore, so everything is just black. Thankfully, the physics and everything is here. Like, what we are at, like, this point right here, we are right here. We're right here, right? So we have a we have a wall in front of us, like this. There's a pavement here. My friends are getting onto the bike, and there's a bike in front of me. Those are all the things that we can't see, but I'm always exactly there because the mission puts me exactly there, right? So we know exactly where I am. Here it goes. Do you see this? We're looking at exactly the same thing. Big Smoke is getting onto a bike that we can't see. I don't know why. That's not what a bike looks like. There's a wall here that goes like this, and there's a pavement that goes like this along here, right? We're in exactly the same situation. Now, I need to... Obviously, I could try to play the game completely fucking blind, but that would be really goddamn slow. So what we want to do is we want to change our interior. We want to change it from 5 back to... We want to go back to 0, right? So that we can see what the fuck we're doing. How... And chat, pop quiz. How do you change your interior value in San Andreas? How do you change what interior you're in? Door. You enter an interior. Exactly. If I enter another interior, let's say I enter interior 8, my interior will become 8, which is still not that useful. But then I just leave the interior. I just walk out, and that sets me back to 0. So we need to find some interior that we can blindly walk into in order to set our interior back to 0. So it just so happens that like down the road this way and then slightly to the left is a 24/7 shop at a petrol station. And if we could walk into that, we could get our interior vision back. So what we do is we use the only references we have. We have this blue marker. We don't have a mini map. I wish we had a mini map. But we have this blue marker, and we have this blue marker. We have the car doors and tires of the car that exploded. And I don't know if you can see this over here. And we have PEDs. Those are the only references we have. And like, yeah, sounds of stuff. But San Andreas ain't that great with like sounds of stuff. Oh, and we have like camera movements as well. Those are the references we have right now. So by using this references, what I'm trying to do is like, there's like a road here, right? With pavements either side. And it goes down like this way. I'm trying to walk down the left pavement to go down the road. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm using like, I know that the bike spawns, remember from earlier, we saw it. It spawns in front of a building on the pavement, doesn't it? Or the sidewalk or whatever you want to call it. That's where the bike spawns. Why can I not draw a bike? Whatever. That's where the bike spawns. So we know that's where the bike is. So I can use this marker to know that if I line up with it and I am like correctly lined up with this road, then I'll be on the pavement. Oh, that's a pavement, not a road. I'll be on the pavement if I line up with it correctly, right? So I'm trying to like walk down the road. Now this ped here spawns. The peds, they will walk down the pavements when they spawn. So I can see these peds here. So I know that the road must be at least like this. And these guys are on this pavement. And hopefully I'm on the pavement here, right? So I can try to use where the ped spawn to like figure out where the pavement is. We get lucky here. This guy spawns on the pavement that I'm trying to walk down. So now I know that like, okay, here's the pavement here. I could fucking see it because the ped's on it, right? And I know that bike is on the pavement. I was going to say, I'm a little too much to the left here. If you look at this ped, he's walking like this way. And these peds are walking this way, and here's the road, right? So I'm actually a little too much to the side. I'm like here, right? So because of that, I bonk into a wall here. You can tell I bonk into the wall because the camera stops moving. It gets like, the camera collides with a wall here. So as soon as that happens, I realize I must be on some road here that's like connected. Oh, that was terrible. That's like connected with this road. Like this. I must be on some other road, and I've just walked into this building that's here, obviously. So I'm here bonking into this building. So I know that I need to go slightly to the right here and realign with the pavement. So that's what I do. I go slightly to the right until my camera is free again and realign with this pavement. Then this ped spawns. Thank God this ped spawns, because he walks straight down there. So now that I know, if I line up this guy with the blue marker like this, you see how they're lined up? I know the bike is on the pavement, right? I know the bike is on the pavement. That's a car, whatever. I know this ped is on the pavement. So by lining these things up with my position, I can triangulate my position to be on the pavement, right? So I line up with these two things, and now I know I'm dead straight down the pavement. Oh, and that guy got ran over by the voodoo. Then as soon as the marker disappears here, as soon as the blue marker for the bike disappears right there, I know I'm now really far away from the bike, that I'm so far away that it's unloaded the blue marker. As soon as that happens, I know that like, here's a road here, right? I know that I'm on a road here. I've gone far enough to get to this road. And I know that there's like a wall here. And this wall, I want to shimmy across and then line myself up with an interior. So I'm going to walk this way until I bonk a wall. And then I'm going to hold A and S like this to walk diagonally this way. And if I just hold that, like this wall will guide me inside the 24/7 interior like this. Like that. There you go. Now I'm inside the 24/7. My interior equals 8. And then I leave the interior. And now my interior equals 0 instead. And you can see briefly here, here's this wall I was trying to line up with. It's this way here. This wall is what I was trying to line up with. And then I walked diagonally to where I am now. And now I can probably show you this is the road I was walking down here. I walked down this road, bonked this wall, and then walked diagonally into this shop here. That's what I did. You may notice, by the way, I'm holding space down here. The apparel menu uses the sprint button. It uses the X button, so the sprint button on foot. It uses that to confirm to go to the next menu, but it only happens when I let go of the button, right? So that's how I've managed to sprint this whole time, is because I've just been holding the space button. As soon as I let go of space, wait for it, I will advance in the apparel menu like this because I've let go of space. Yeah, this is the part of the run where I now need to juggle the apparel menu and a fake imaginary PS2 controller, because we have a bit of a problem now. Now, I am here, outside of this 24/7, right? And I want to be all the way at fucking Grove Street, like a mile away, right? I need to progress the whole mission and, you know, just progress the whole mission to the very end and then set up the rest of the trick. The problem is, in order to do that quickly, I need to get inside of a vehicle. To get inside of a vehicle, I need to press the triangle button. And what button have Rockstar chosen to make it so that this apparel menu will close? Remember, as soon as this apparel menu closes, CJ will do the walking out of the wardrobe animation and I'll regain control of CJ. But I need that later. So the problem is, as soon as I press triangle on the PlayStation 2 controller, as soon as I press triangle to get in a vehicle, I'm going to close this apparel menu, right? Because I go back one in the menu. But not being able to use vehicles would be really goddamn slow if I had to like waddle my way through the whole mission. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to juggle the apparel menu. What I can do is, if I let go of space here, don't worry about the voodoo a second. If I let go of space, I advance one in the apparel menu. So think of it as if, like, here's an apparel menu here, right? And this is the one that says, like, t-shirts, shoes, watches, and shit, right? And as soon as you press space, you advance one menu forwards to the next menu. And in this instance, I've picked the t-shirt menu. We've got white tank, black tank, green hoodie, white t-shirt, LS t-shirt, all that stuff. I've advanced to the t-shirt menu, right? Now, if I press space one more time, we'll advance to CJ puts on the black tank. As soon as that happens, I'm going to soft lock, because the game is going to try to teleport me to where the wardrobe is, but it can't for lots of reasons. It's going to try to show me CJ putting on the black tank top, and then I get to see what it looks like before I choose to buy it or not. For a bunch of reasons, that's not going to work, right? If I press space, or rather, if I press X on a PS2 controller one more time right now, if I press X one more time, we're going to put on the black tank top, and that's going to soft lock the game, and we don't want to do that. So I have to be very fucking careful with my inputs right now to not advance one more in the apparel menu. If I advance one more in the apparel menu, yeah, I will kill the run. I will end the game. So I'm going to put the apparel menu down. I'm going to put the apparel menu like here, so you can sort of still see me and read chat. There you go. But I have done something else. I have advanced one in the apparel menu, right? So now if I press triangle on a PS2 controller, if I press triangle, I will go back an apparel menu. And that's fine because nothing will happen. I'll just close the t-shirt menu and go back to the main menu, won't I? This is what I call apparel menu juggling. I need to juggle between the main menu of the apparel menu and the first sub-menu. I need to bounce between these two things in order to press buttons when I need to press them. So I let go of space, so that advanced to be 1 in the apparel menu. Now I'm able to press triangle. And because I can press triangle, it means I can get inside this voodoo. So I'm very carefully walking up, and I press F, which is triangle, 1 fucking time. I press it 1 goddamn time, and I get inside the car. And if you can see again, this apparel menu, we're in the main menu again. Torso, legs, shoes, changes, etc. So now we've moved from the t-shirt menu with the black top and all that stuff. We've moved from that back to the first main menu, and I've juggled it, right? So even though I can't press X or triangle without fucking up the menu, if I tactically press them at the correct points, I could just go back and forth between the main menu and the sub-menu and not lose the menu at all. When I do this in a run, I am completely silent. Like, you can see my face here. This is the face of a Joshimuz that is really fucking concentrating because I need to be real fucking careful that I don't press X or triangle when I'm not supposed to fucking press it, right? So I'm concentrating really hard. I get inside the car because I've pressed triangle, right? Now I can get inside the car. Now we have another problem. To accelerate in a car, you have to press X to accelerate, right? That's how you accelerate in a car. What happens when I press X? I'll go forwards a fucking apparel menu. So, in order to drive this car, I get 1 X press. I can press X 1 fucking time. I can press it once. Because as soon as I let go of it, we're going to go forwards in the apparel menu. So here, if you watch what happens, I'm going to start accelerating. And did you hear that? Did you hear that? Blink. There was the sound of like me advancing in the apparel menu. Listen. As soon as I get into the car and start accelerating, there's a boink. Yeah, I have done half of an X press. So there are 2 parts of a button. There are 3 parts of a button press, right? When you initially press the button down, right? That's the first part of an A press, as Panic puts it. That's the first part of a button press. We press it down. That's the pressed state. Then we are in the like continuing to be held state, right? The button continues to be held. And then when you lift your finger off the button, that's the second half of an A press. So I can half X press right now. If I hold X, I can accelerate. As soon as I let go of X, the apparel menu would advance to the next one. So I've done half of an X press right now. So I have to half X press and play the whole fucking mission. So again, I can't let go of W. You have to remember, I cannot let go of W unless I want to juggle the apparel menu again. So I am stuck accelerating for the rest of the fucking... until I let go. So if you see me drive here, and I drive really fucking weird... Do you see this? Like, I'm using, like, handbrake to slow down and stuff. You see? And I'm just accelerating constantly. It's because I can't let go of W. I have to do this. So we need to be careful, because if I drive into this wall, and I get flat stuck on this wall... I can't go anywhere. The car is just into this wall because I'm stuck accelerating. I can't do anything. I can't reverse because if you press S at the same time as W, it just counts as you coasting. It doesn't accelerate and it doesn't brake. You just do nothing. So I can't reverse. Like, okay, I can because I can juggle the apparel menu back and forth, but you know, I need to be careful with my driving here. It's like very dangerous. I can't just like willy-nilly like let go of W to go around a corner and brake and then press it again. I need to concentrate on must press W, right? So I'm doing this bit with just pressing W. and I'm pushing sweet, and I'm using handbrake to slow down, and I'm just constantly pressing it. Now we're about to encounter a new problem here. We're about to start a cutscene. What happens when you start a cutscene, chat? You lose control of CJ. When you lose control of CJ, the game basically just forces your finger off of any buttons that you're pressing. That's essentially what happens. So as soon as I enter this cutscene, I'm going to be forced to let go of the X button. It's going to let go of the X button for me. So as soon as I enter this cutscene, we are going to advance 1 in the apparel menu. So if you look for it here, I preemptively let go of it because I'm going to coast into the cutscene. But I've advanced an apparel menu, right? So I've gone from the main apparel menu with like torso or whatever. I've gone from that to the next one. Then in this cutscene, so now if I try to accelerate right now, again, we're on the second step of the apparel menu. If I try to accelerate right now, CJ is gonna put on the, well, okay, not right now because I've already fixed it, but I fixed it a bit too quick for my explanation. Wait for it. Here, if I press W again right now in the apparel menu, then CJ is gonna put on the black tank top and we're gonna soft lock. I can't do that. So I now can't accelerate. So what I have to do is in this cutscene, as soon as this cutscene starts, you can see I'm still in the t-shirt menu. As soon as this cutscene starts, I press F, which is triangle on a PS2 controller. That is a terrible square. I press F, which is triangle on a PS2 controller, which brings me 1 back. So I've gone back an apparel menu now. So now I'm back into the main menu. And now that I'm back in the main menu, now I can half X press again. So I'm half X pressing. So I'm holding the X button down. I'm half X pressing, and now I can half X press for a bit again until I let go of it again. So now, again, I just drive here. I drive carefully. Don't lock up. Don't get stuck on these bins. I'm pushing the guys. I'm trying to push the guys while just using space to slow down with, which is the fucking, which is the handbrake button. All right, and I'm going through all of this, blah, 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 blah. Then we get to this bit here. Now, in my early runs, this jump down here, I would always flip my car over, and chat would always laugh at me, like, oh, Josh is so bad, he can't do this jump, he flips the car over. Not understanding that I have to fucking hold X the whole time. I can't let go of W. If you can't stop accelerating, you can't control the car in the air, right? And because I can't control the car in the air, I can't prevent myself from flipping over. I can't slow down. I can't do anything. I'm stuck pressing the fucking button, and chat is dumb. But because they kept laughing at me and it was hurting my feelings, I decided that I'm actually going to let go of W here. So I let go of W as I enter the air here, and I, again, advance 1 in the apparel menu. Like this. So now that I actually can slow down, and like, do you see that the car leaned backwards here? Do you see this lean backwards? That's because I'm holding 5, which is my lean backwards key. You can tell I do it because I go down in the apparel menu. Watch it. I go from black tank to green hoodie. Do you see that? I scroll down 1. That's because I press the lean down button, and the lean down button is down. So I go down on the menu on a PS2 controller, right? So I lean the car back and, okay, it's down analog stick, but I lean the car back and that means I don't flip over. If I don't do that, we're gonna nosedive into the ground. I'm gonna land with my nose straight on the ground with my car upright like this and the wheels here. And the car's going to flip over and chat's going to laugh at me and I'm going to be angry about it. So instead I'm adding this extra apparel menu hop here just so I don't have to do that. So what I have to do now I'm in this situation where I'm in the second bit and I have to press F or triangle. I have to press triangle to go back 1 in the menu, right? But if I press triangle, I'm going to get out of the car, which I don't want to do because that's slow. So what I'm doing is I'm holding space. For whatever reason, if you're holding handbrake, CJ won't get out of the car when you press F. So I'm holding handbrake, and then I press F to go back at apparel menu like this. And now I can accelerate again after like sitting there and thinking about it for a little bit and making sure the apparel menu is like, I'm doing these inputs slowly because I'm making sure that I'm pressing the right thing at the right fucking time and don't soft lock myself. So now that that's done, now I can push Ryder again and we can push him through the rest of the mission until we get to this point. So I don't want to end the mission right now. Remember, what we're trying to do is we're trying to set it up so that I take the gym phone call. We're trying to set it up so that I take the gym call, but gain control and have an NRG, and then I have 10 seconds to drive into this marker. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to set up. So instead, what I do is I don't want to just drive over there and finish the mission because that would be dumb. That's not what I want to do. So what I've done now is I've set up this point where these two guys on the bike back here, they are going to cycle all the way over into Grove Street. That was a terrible arrow. Oh, that was also terrible. Whatever. They're going to cycle into Grove Street and they're going to sit there and wait for me to get into this red marker. And again, as soon as we get into that marker, the game is going to wait 1 second. And during that second, if I start Just Business, the book swapping just happens to line up that I will execute Big Smoke's position in the ped pool as code, and we'll jump through a bunch of code, and then I'll execute my payload and skip to the end of the game. So that's what we're trying to do. So now that I've done all that, we're in a situation where Big Smoke will end, and I have this apparel menu, right? Now, what I could do is I could go take this NRG right here, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this NRG. I'm going to pick up some grenades here. And I could take this NRG, park it at the gym, go to the Just Business marker, answer the phone call, and then I could, in the cutscene, I could cancel the apparel menu, and that will make it so CJ does the walk out of the wardrobe animation, and then I regain control of CJ. And then I could where is it? Then I could take the NRG and I could drive over there. The problem with that is that takes too long. Like the animation of CJ leaving the apparel menu, it's here. You'll see it in a second. The animation looks like this, right? That's the animation, and then I get control back. That takes way too fucking long. I only have 10 seconds. I only have 10 seconds to do this drive, and it's really fucking precise. Like, look how fast I go, and I barely make it in exactly 10 seconds. Like, if at the start of this, I had to do the walk out of wardrobe animation before I gained the time, like, it would take too long. I can't do it. So, the apparel menu is not good enough to do the trick with. So, what I have to do instead is I have to change it for a different menu. Before that, what I'm going to do is we need to park that NRG in exactly the right spot because we need to use the fastest vehicle in the game to get over to Grove Street with. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take the NRG. And again, if you see the apparel menu, I'm juggling the apparel menu again. I won't point it out every time, but just know that I'm constantly doing it. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to forward to menu. Then I go back a menu. Then I hold space. I walk over here. I run over here. I let go of the apparel menu, and then I press F to get on... I let go of space, which advances an apparel menu. Then I press F once to get on the bike. Then I hold W, half a W press. And then I need to let go of W, and then I need to press triangle to advance back. You know, I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm juggling this menu. Now I need to go forwards, and then I go back, and then I can get on the bike. I'm doing it so quickly, right? But yeah, just know that I'm juggling the entire time. What I'm doing here, by the way, because the camera shake thing can happen, that makes it really hard to blow up Smoke's car with a gun. Like, I could just shoot Smoke's car in the petrol tank and blow it up, right? There's a petrol tank, like, right here behind the license plate. I could shoot it in the petrol tank and blow it up. But if the fucking... if the camera is shaking like this, good fucking luck shooting the petrol tank of the car, right? Good fucking luck doing that. So instead, I want to use grenades. So that's why I'm picking up these grenades here. Above me in the floor above right here. In the floor above, like right here, there's grenades in this corner, like right here on the floor above. So what I'm doing is I drive over here, and then I just get on top of the NRG, and I just jump into this corner. You see? And I just picked up grenades. I pick up grenades through the roof, because that's faster than driving up there. So then I do a 180, and then we leave this place. So I have everything I need, minus not the apparel menu. I have the NRG and I have grenades, and Big Smoke is set up. So we go park the NRG, and again, me moving through this menu here, that's me spam leaning forwards on the bike to go faster. That's why I'm scrolling through this menu. But yeah, so what we need to do now is I need to park the bike exactly precisely. This is so difficult to time that if you watch here, when I spawn in, I immediately get on the bike. Do you remember what I explained at the very beginning with the teleporting onto the bike thing? With the with the 3 circles? Do you remember way at the beginning? The way I teleport onto the bike, there's a circle here, there's a circle here, and there's a circle here. And if you're in one of those circles and you try to get on the bike, CJ skips pathfinding and he just gets straight on the fucking bike. Well, I need to do the same thing again here. If I park the bike too far away, or too close even, if I park the bike in the wrong spot here, when I attempt to do the teleport, when I attempt to do the trick, CJ will like pathfind towards the bike and then get on it. And that's too slow. We only have 10 seconds. I have to get to Grove Street right the fuck now. So I have to make sure I park this bike in exactly the right position that when I spawn in here, I'm stood within one of these 3 circles. And we obviously pick this circle here. Like, you have to be, like, so fucking precise with your parking here. So anyway, I'm like, want to park very precisely. You're like, okay, Josh, that's all well and good. Just park the bike good. How hard is it? Well, the problem is I have the fucking apparel menu open. So I can't just park the bike all neat and tidy. I'm stuck holding fucking W or X or whatever the whole fucking time. So you have to try to park the bike while fully accelerating and only being able to brake with the handbrake. So I have to like really, you can see how I'm really carefully like, right, park it in exactly the right spot like this. And then I have to juggle the apparel menu again, get off the bike. And now the bike is in the exact perfect spot. Now we have 3 minutes until the game will despawn this bike. Because if you leave a vehicle and it's your personal vehicle, if you leave it, the game starts a 3-minute timer, and at the end of that 3-minute timer, it will despawn the bike no matter what happens. So I have 3 minutes to do everything else I need to do on top of everything I'm trying to do at the same time. So now now we want to go to the nightclub, because spoilers, we're going to use the nightclub for this thing. So I have to get over there really quickly within 3 minutes. So I'm again juggling the apparel menu. I'm going to get into this random car. And we're going to take this random car, keep juggling the apparel menu, and head over to the nightclub. So, as soon as I leave this apparel menu, I'll regain control of CJ. Well, both CJs, I guess. Wait, actually, what is happening to the other CJ right now? Do I have control over the other CJ? I kind of forgot there was another CJ running around. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, 3 minutes into 10 seconds into 1 second. Yeah, exactly. I have to time the 3 minutes into a 10 second into a 1 second. Anyway. Yeah, I have to drive over here with the apparel menu. Cancel all of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go inside this nightclub. I'm going to mute it because there's music and fucking copyrighted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the apparel menu. Do you remember earlier I went phone call into cutscene, into now apparel menu, and now we're going to do the last jump into the dance, because when you start this dance like this, you lose control of CJ, and when you cancel the dance, you regain control of CJ, just like all these other things. So yeah, we've gone phone to cutscene to apparel to now we're gonna do the dance. Yeah, we've gone bam, bam, bam like that. We've chained like control gaining things. So once I've started the dance, I can finally close the apparel menu. We get the CJ leaves the wardrobe animation like this, and then I get put here, and then I get control back. So because the apparel menu ends and I leave the wardrobe, I get control back over CJ. But now we're in the dance. So now I have a completely different set of buttons that I can't press. Right? If I press... Well, actually, it's the same set of buttons. I can't press like X and triangle like normal because otherwise I'll end the dance menu. So now we're in the same situation, but it works a little bit differently because now I can't do half presses. That was it. This one works differently. So with the apparel menu, you had like the X, you had the half X press thing. So I could hold X down and that's fine. And it was only when I released X that it would be a problem, right? It was only when I released it that it would do a thing. The dance menu works differently. The dance menu uses the press part. So I can't do the half A press meme here. So I can't get in this vehicle because I need to press F to do that. And I can't sprint because I would need to press space to do that. And I don't want to fuck around with this menu. I technically can juggle this menu back and forth, but I don't want to. It's like too difficult. So instead, I'm stuck just like jumping here. There is a way to take the car here. And if you watch better runners than me, they will take the car here. But it involves using some even cursed... You have to use even more cursed inputs. And I just don't want to. If I get to this point in the run, I just want the fucking run to finish, right? Like, I don't want to add all this extra shit. Oh, yeah, unmute. Thank you, yeah. Wait, yeah, that was it. So anyway, I have this dance menu that will give me control over CJ after a little jig animation. It's very short. It will immediately give me control over CJ again. So now we're going to jump our way over to the just business marker. I'm also holding the phone call, by the way. The phone call, that's the gym phone call. As soon as I answer this phone call, we're going to get teleported to the gym. So here we go. Here's the big moment. The whole run has come down to this. I stand. This is where the just business marker is, right? It's like right here. It looks like this. If I stand in this and go on mission 0, then I will start just business, right? So I stand exactly where this marker is. And as soon as I answer the phone call like this. I answer the phone call like this. Yeah. And now we're in the gym tutorial cutscene. As I said earlier, in the gym tutorial cutscene, when you start it, you have exactly 10 seconds of being in this cutscene before you get teleported back to where you were. Not where you are right now, where you were is where you get teleported to. So here, I get teleported to Running Dog in this NMG run. In this case, I'm going to get teleported to here. So from this point, I have exactly 10 seconds. From right here, I have 10 seconds to get to the big smoke marker and do the teleport. So now, while I was answering this phone call, I'm also holding the F key, and the F key is how you cancel this menu, right? So I put this phone call down and cancel the dance menu at like the same time. So right here, the dance gets cancelled right as I get teleported directly next to my NRG. So now everything is in place. In 10 seconds, I will start just business. I then need to now really heckin' fast drive all the way to the big smoke marker as quick as possible and get into this big smoke marker within 10 seconds, within 10 seconds, or within 9 seconds, I guess. I have 9 seconds to get into this marker. I then need to jump off of the bike because I need to be on foot. When I get teleported, if I'm on the bike here, I won't start the mission. So I have to jump off the bike so that I'm on foot. And now, you see this fade to black that happens? This fade to black here, that's not Big Smoke. That's the gym phone call. So I get like 9 seconds to get into here. Or 10 seconds even. As soon as I start this, as soon as I hit this, we have 1 second. We have 1 second where the Big Smoke mission is reading what I said, page 6. It's reading page 6 over and over and over again for 1 second. Until that 1 second's up, and then it moves on with the mission. And during that 1 second, if I start Just Business, which, spoilers, I do, the game now reads Big Smoke's position in the ped pool as a jump instruction. And now we've finally done everything. Everything's all come together. I forgot how I explained this. We go into this. The Big Smoke is reading the 1 second page book. The 1 second wait page. We start Just Business. The book that Big Smoke is reading gets ripped out of the bookshelf and replaced with the Just Business book. Page 6 of the Just Business book says some stuff that it's like halfway through reading, and Big Smoke accidentally reads it. The mission Big Smoke accidentally reads it as jump to Big Smoke's ped pool position in code. We jump to that location. It takes a few seconds. We blast through a bunch of zeros that the game has like written in memory around the gambling numbers. We get to the pool part, and it reads pool as the camera shake. The camera starts shaking. It keeps blasting through all the zero numbers, all the variables that it's reading, and then finally, it reaches the Wheel of Fortune's bets that we set up ages ago. It blasts through all these numbers, and then it reaches these ones. And then from way earlier, we've programmed all these numbers that if you translate it through all the translation layers, it's like, okay, it becomes a number, that becomes a hexadecimal number, that becomes a San Andreas mission script instruction. We do the 3 layers of translation all the way through that, and the instructions become wait 15 and a bit seconds. The instructions become, from this point, from the camera shake, wait 15 and a bit seconds. Then it will start end of the line free. Then it will play the credits. So 15 and a bit seconds from this camera starting to shake. I will immediately start end of the line free, and the cutscene the credits will play like this. And that's it. And end of the line free is also playing in the background. And there you go. I hope I did a good job. That is any percent Grand Theft Auto San Andreas original version explained in, I don't know, like 7 hours or something. There you go. I finally done it. Yeah, GG. Right? Why the 15-second wait? I explained the other day. The 15-second wait is there so that I don't start Just Business and end of the line at the same time. Because if I do that, the game will crash. It will make sense when you watch the full video. It's closer to 8 hours. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry live stream viewers. This was more of a YouTube video than a live stream. Okay, right. Well, I fucked up my throat 2 days in a row now from like shouting for like 4 hours straight. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this explanation made sense. This is a really difficult thing to explain because it's like such a long fucking thing. And there's like so much complicated shit to it. And it is like you kind of need a computer science degree to understand it. And I only vaguely understand it. And I do have a computer science degree. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this How I Beat video. I will hopefully do another one of these for any percent no AJS in the future. When I get a good run of that, whenever that fucking happens. Yeah, so look out for that. That will be way more complicated and longer than this, because that's like a fucking 4-hour-long run and has like loads of other different complicated glitches in it. So yeah, that video will probably be like 12 parts long. Okay. All right, that's it. I've got nothing else. feel free to leave comments if you have any questions. I will hopefully be answering them and stuff. Yeah, and maybe give this run a try if you want to be absolutely fucking masochistic. Maybe this was a good enough tutorial for you to try it at home. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. But it isn't designed as a tutorial. This is designed as like an entertainment, like explain for the viewer what the fuck is happening kind of video. It's not a speedrun tutorial, so yeah. This one wasn't a speedrun tutorial. The other one wasn't a speedrun tutorial. So please don't take it as that, but maybe it works. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. I got nothing else. See you in the next video, YouTube. If you want to watch all my runs, I have a second account called Joshimuz Uncut where I post all my stuff raw, uncut, and stuff like that. And yeah, I speedrun San Andreas every day until GTA 6 comes out, pretty much. That's it. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Thanks to all these Joshimuz.com members for supporting me and everything. Shout out to Joshimuz.com if you want to go there and support me, by the way. Oh my god, I've just realized I'm missing the Romic in Joshimuz.com. Oh shit. Okay, whatever. And I will see you all in the next video, YouTube video watchers. Goodbye. Don't leave live stream viewers. I'm going back. Hello, live stream viewers. Okay. Yeah, I'll set up a raid before I leave. Okay, oh my god, I finally did the video. Holy shit, I just need to fucking edit it. Oh, it's going to be such a pain in the dick to edit. Maybe I don't edit it. Maybe I just upload it raw. Fuck it. Whatever. I want to edit out when I like go to answer the door or something, but yeah. Oh my god, that was such a fucking long video. I did not expect that to take 2 days to explain a 44-minute long run. The run is 44 fucking minutes long, and it took me 8 hours to explain it all. Oh shit. All right, well yeah, for realsies, for live stream viewers, I'll be gone now. I'm streaming iRacing this evening. So yeah, I'm in the creator series this evening. I don't know what the hell it is I'm racing. It's something, I don't know what. Yeah, is Skip doing something? Skip is playing Google translated San Andreas. That sounds really funny. We should rate that. Why do I not follow Skip? Let's Skip was helping in lots of ways with the AJS run as well. So shout outs to them. We should definitely rate them. They don't stream on YouTube. So sorry YouTube viewers, you have nowhere to go again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna follow Skip. He might see that and know that I'm about to raid him now. Oh, he's listened to music and everything as well. Oh my god. Oh, Google Translate. Truth has found its tools. Oh my god, this is fucking hilarious. All right, go watch Skip play Google translated San Andreas. I'll be back later with iRacing, and back tomorrow with some kind of San Andreas speedrun thing. I don't know what. All right, thanks a lot. See you guys later. Goodbye.